39th. In the backup car is Daniel Suarez, and here is the rest of your starting grid.
Goes 13th, Justin Allgaier 12th, and William Sawalich will start 11th.
Jesse Love in his RCR Chevrolet will start today in 10th. Nick Sanchez will start in 9th. 8th starter is Taylor Gray, with Austin Hill in 7th. Sam Mayer is your 6th starter. 5th goes to Sammy Smith. 4th will be Carson Quapple. Christopher Bell will start in 3rd. Ty Gibbs will start on the outside of the front row. And Connor Zillich will be leading the green flag, leading the field to the green flag in his WeatherTech Chevrolet from Junior Motorsports.
The entire field behind a Chevrolet Corvette pace car pulls out onto the circuit, and we'll do the same and take you for a lap around this 2.42-mile track. The front straightaway, 3,937 feet in length. They'll thunder all the way down to turn number 1 and into the view of Dave Moody from Barrie, Vermont.
Turn 1 here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the best test of braking in all of NASCAR. Plus into the hard right-hander, then a quick burst into the gentle left-hand turn 2, a long acceleration through the sweeping turn 3, and then into the view of Altamont, Illinois' Kurt Becker.
Dave, stretch that connects turns 3 and 4. Short stretch, just what it means. Nowhere near the length of that front straightaway, but here's the situation. When you get into turn number 4, the preferred line is at the bottom. You get down there, you can pick up some positions, and then they will leave turn 4 and head toward the S's. And Dan Hubbard of Anaheim, California.
Thank you, Kurt, and good afternoon, everybody. The S's are comprised of 3 turns, turn 5, 6, and 7. It's a quick combo of left, right, and left transitions. The drivers navigate these turns, all of these turns in second gear, cutting the corners as much as they are allowed, tossing their cars over the rumble strips. Now, some in the field are comfortable hanging the tail out. Others just want to get through it without the drama. Either way, it's a challenge and it's entertaining to watch. I'll cover the action for you here. After turn 7, they go up the short chute to turn 8 and into the view of our Tim Catapamo from Marlboro, New Jersey.
Thank you very much, Dan. Once they go into turn number 8, which is a right-hand turn, they'll make their way to turn 9, a quick left hand, and then they get onto a long straightaway. There's a kink in the middle of the straightaway, that's turn 10, and then a right-hander in turn 11. It's a very technical part of the track. You've got to be careful. It's narrow, and I'll cover it all. On top of us, there's a lift in the middle of the straightaway in turn 10. Once they leave my view, they'll race into the view of Carmel, Indiana's Chris Wilner.
Thank you, Tim. I'll pick up the field as they make their way to the right-hander, turn number 11. It's 45-degree flat right-hander that Cole Custer mentioned earlier. It's sketchy. A lot of drivers braking very hard, locking up the brakes in an action zone here for overtaking. That's also the opening for what is the 4-0 Soul, the stadium section. It's one of the most unique aspects here of Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It's a Hermanos Rodriguez. It's a U-shape with grandstands all around this facility, and drivers then will have to downshift off at turn number 11 to the slowest and trickiest 2 corners. Turn 12 is a slow left-hander. Then it's a quick switchback to a slow right-hander in 13, where they'll slowly get back on the gas for the run to the final 2 corners and into the view of both of my amigos in the broadcast booth, Mike Bagley and Alex Hayden.
And that is a lap around Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
NASCAR fans, the time is now to turn your love of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, as the grid didn't really work out the way that I wanted to at the start of the broadcast, let's just go through the grid one more time. It's row 1 is Zillage Gibbs, row 2 Bell Quaffle, then it's Sammy Smith and Sam Mayer, row 4 Austin Hill and Taylor Gray, then it's Nick Sanchez, Jesse Love, William Suarez, Justin Allgaier, row 6, then it's Sheldon Creed, Austin Green, Brandon Jones, Andres Perez de Lara, Matt De Benedetto, Jeb Burton, row 9, row 10 Jeremy Clements and Sage Crum, then it's Alex Loeb, Harrison Burton as well down in 22nd, then it's the 70 of Thomas Anuzata, then it's Blaine Perkins in 24th, 25th is Ryan Ellis, then it's Dean Thompson, Chris Wright, Josh Balicki, row 14, row 15 Daniel Dye, Ryan Sieg, then it's 31st for Ruben Rovellero, then Josh Williams, Brennan Paul, Christian Eckes, Parker Retzlaff, then Carl Sieg, that's row 13, so that is row 18. Row 19 is Brad Perez and Anthony Alfredo, and then 39th and last, Daniel Suarez in a backup car. That is your NASCAR Xfinity grid for NASCAR Mexico here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Chilango 150 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 65 laps ahead of us, and MRN taking you through the call with a possibility of linking up with USRN a little bit later on. So let's go back to MRN.
Back in Mexico City, the field is on the backside of the course right now. We expect to go racing shortly. Let's take one more trip to pit road. Steve Post.
Mike, Carson Quaffle qualified in the 4th spot, and he was really slinging that car around the racetrack. Carson has no road racing background. He ran the dirt track at Millbridge. He ran some Wisconsin Super Late Models into the Cars Tour. And here he is running road courses on the Xfinity Series. His first road course was down at Circuit of the Americas. He was running second. He was mixing it up at the front of the field, and he cut a tire down, but he looked really, really good. Had a chance to talk to Carson this morning. I said, what makes you such a good road racer? He says, darn if I know. I've ran 4 TA2, Trans Am 2 races, and I just love road racing. No idea that I would be able to understand it as much as I do, and feel really good about my race car here today. That's Carson Quaffle. He starts in position number 4. Brad Gilly.
On my end of pit road, Daniel Suarez, who's trying to race his way from the front to the back in a backup car that literally was rolled out onto the grid right before opening ceremonies. He's hoping to do that in front of his hometown crowd. But what's unique here at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is the fact that they will be pitting off the right side of the car. The gas filler is on the passenger side of the car, not the driver's side. To compound that, the pit boxes here are smaller than a lot of your average pit boxes on road courses. So not only do they have to pull into the right, they have to do it in a smaller pit box than what they normally run, and the crew members here are going to have to get it done pitting backwards effectively is what they talk about. That's just one of the many challenges of this road course here in Mexico City.
As the drivers right now bring their cars at pit road speed all the way down the length of the pit lane, they'll have to turn into their pit boxes to driver's right, something else that is quite unique.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of motor racing.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get ready for the start of the Chilango 150 here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here in Mexico City, as the cars just complete their drive through to get their pit lane speed all up to what it should be. And Connor Zellid and Ty Gibbs will lead the pack to the green for 65 laps round the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Well, the drive-through penalty, if there is a drive-through penalty given and a pass-through, it will be 30 seconds we've just seen. But 1 to go we've been given.
Rodriguez in Mexico City. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You've been through one diet.
Yeah, well, MRN just doing the 1 to go and then immediately going to ad breaks. But good to know that we are on 1 to go and we will be going green. Next time by, we head towards the front straightaway. The second longest front straightaway we have here in the NASCAR series. The longest, of course, being Talladega Super Speedway. But we're getting ready to go over to MRN, the Motor Racing Network, for the NASCAR Xfinity race, as it just buffers for a moment. So let's just give it a refresh, and we shall head over to MRN. Come into the green this time. Let's go and return to MRN, the Motor Racing Network.
We welcome you back to Mexico City, Mexico. 71 degrees, overcast skies. There is rain showers in and around Mexico City. That may come into play, but we'll have to wait and see.
Right now, the field is making its way through the stadium. They are turning right into turns 14 and 15 and hitting the front straightaway with the start of the Chilango 150 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Alex Hayden of Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Connor Zilic starts to driver's right. He gets the jump. Green flag goes in the air. He and Ty Gibbs go through the gearbox and head off to turn number 1.
On the loud pedal, heading down that long front straightaway, jousting for position a little further back. They're spread out 2, 3, even 4 wide. Here they come into the corner. Connor Zilic will lead the way by half a car length. Driver's right. A little bit of a bump midway through the corner with Ty Gibbs. Gibbs now with the advantage through turn 2. Ty Gibbs away with the lead as they hit turn 3. Head to the short chute with Connor Zilic riding second.
In fact, Ty Gibbs will come with a lot of momentum onto the short chute for the first time this afternoon. He scoots out in front of the field. Now, Connor Zilic may not be done yet. Started to move to the inside. At the same time, he's got Carson Quapple to his left. That's the side-by-side battle for second.
Field makes their way through the S's for the first time. It is Ty Gibbs showing the way. Almost loses the handle, but now gets it pointed in the right direction. Connor Zilic in that second spot. Carson Quapple side-by-side with Christopher Bell for third.
Carson Quapple and Christopher Bell still side-by-side through turn 8. Give the spot to Quapple this time off turn number 9. Quapple will take third. Bell back to fourth. Here's Connor Zilic still challenging Ty Gibbs for the lead as they go to turn 11.
In the braking zone at turn 11 for the first time, it's still Ty Gibbs by about a half car length over Connor Zilic. Now into that first gear left-hander in turn 12. First time through the stadium, the fans on their feet as Ty Gibbs leads Connor Zilic out of the stadium.
Christopher Bell, Sammy Smith making contact there as well. The field makes the left-hander make that the right-hander into turns 14 and 15 and make their way down this straightaway. Side by side for the lead. Connor Zilic to the inside. Ty Gibbs to the outside. Drag racing up this long front straightaway. The question is, who's going to blink first going into turn number 1?
Ty Gibbs got a great run off the final corner. He has a huge head of momentum down the front straightaway. They are side by side into turn 1. Zilic gets a little bit of contact again. Gibbs into the back end of Zilic. He moves him wide. Zilic is in the grass in turn 2. Back onto the race course he comes. He'll lose the lead. He'll lose second. He'll lose third as they make it off turn 3.
Carson Quapple's going to move by. More traffic as they come off the end of the short stretch, stacking up behind race leader Ty Gibbs. Gibbs leads it by just a car length. Carson Quapple is there to the outside. Side-by-side battle for the runner-up spot. Christopher Bell right there.
Ty Gibbs has the lead around the left-hand turn 5 and the right-hand turn 6. Still side-by-side for that second spot, although it'll be Christopher Bell who busts out of the box. He's got second. Out of the box. He's got second. Carson Quapple under attack from Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith shoves it into turn number 8, gets alongside the right rear corner panel of Carson Quapple, but now we'll have to tuck in line. Quapple holds the third spot. Here's Sammy Smith now ducking outside. They'll run wheel to wheel for the third position to turn 11.
It's a battle of junior motorsports here for turn 11. For that third position as Sammy Smith's got company, not only Carson Quapple, who pokes drivers left down in the stadium, turn 12 to the inside, tiptoeing his way through. Sammy Smith will hold on to third over Quapple and Connor Zilic.
Pour up off of turn number 15, back onto the front straightaway. Ty Gibbs is the race leader. Through the gearbox he goes. He's got a 10-car length lead over second place Christopher Bell. Cole Custer, Dave Moody described the aggressive racing for the lead in turns 1 and 2 a moment ago. Is it too soon to see that much contact?
It was a little soon for that. I mean, it's lap 2, but I think Ty Gibbs, he's letting Connor Zilic know early on that he's here for business. He wants to win this race, and they're going to beat and bang for it.
Ty Gibbs is away with the lead. Christopher Bell, Sammy Smith, Travis Quapple, Connor Zilic, the top 5. Let's pick them all up on the course.
Making their way through turns 1, 2, and 3 now. Ty Gibbs with that 10-car length advantage. He'll lead him to the short chute.
Here he comes now. Ty Gibbs does. Makes the right-hand turn number 4 under braking, down shifting to first gear. Christopher Bell rides behind him as they swing around the turn, and then Sammy Smith in third.
Well, Ty Gibbs has a little bit of breathing room in that lead. Second place is Connor Zilic, and make that Christopher Bell, excuse me. He's by himself in that second spot. Then it is Sammy Smith. Connor Zilic nose to tail for the third spot.
That's how they run in the top 4. Ty Gibbs already off of turn number 9 in his black Toyota. He leads Christopher Bell by 5 car lengths. Gets another 7 back to pick up Sammy Smith, who's feeling the heat from Connor Zillitz.
Ty Gibbs negotiates the right-hander in turn 11 easily. Now down to first gear for the left-hander. Trouble! Sam Mayer in turn number 11 gets turned around. He's facing the wrong direction, makes contact with the tire barrier. In turn number 11, it's a sketchy braking zone, and unfortunately, Sam Mayer now buried his Ford Mustang into the tire barriers. He slowly starts to creep back under power.
Caution on the speedway on lap number 3 for the problem going off into turn number 11 in front of Chris Wilner.
Yeah, it was a big lockup for Sam Mayer. Not sure if he had help on the back bumper as they entered turn number 11, but it was a massive slide through the center apex of turn number 11, the right-hander, and then he faced the wrong direction going backwards and into the tire barrier. It wasn't massive as far as contact is concerned, but certainly made contact with the tire barrier here in turn number 11.
Caution flag number 1 will fly at lap number 3 as Sam Mayer goes for a ride in Mexico City.
So, Sam Mayer getting involved and into the barrier. First caution here in Mexico City for the Chilango 150 with Ty Gibbs leading away with Christopher Bell in second. Sammy Smith third and Connor Zillitz is fourth. Carson Quaffle is in fifth with Jesse Love in sixth and Austin Hill in seventh. Taylor Gray in 8th, Justin Allgaier 9th, and William Swallage is in 10th and rounds out the top 10. Then it's Sheldon Creed, Nick Sanchez, Austin Green, Jeb Burton, and Matt DiBenedetto, who rounds out the top 15. 16th down, it's Jeremy Clement, Sage Karam, Brandon Jones, Alex Lab, and Andres Perez de Lara, who rounds out the top 20. Let's go back to MRN.
Carson Quappel, the top 5 from Autodrama Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Watch him go to another ad break. There we go. Classic MRN, classic US radio doing the normal US radio thing. 62 laps to go under caution, with Sam Mayer still in the pit lane getting repairs. As I say that, just exits the pit lane. Pit time of 2 minutes 34, as you can see on your screen. Let's have a look at the laps and run-round screen with the current points, the summary, the lead changes, and the order, with the reason for the caution as well in the centre of your screen under the yellow. Let's go back to MRN.
We are back in Mexico City working caution flag number 1. Pit road is open, seeing no takers as they make their way past the opening to the pit lane. The only car that comes down pit road was Sam Mayer. We got another one coming down as well. You got the green car that's coming down the pit lane. Let's get an update on the Sam Mayer car right now.
Yeah, Sam Mayer was the one that got it into the barriers there, and they had left side damage. They had to go up with some saws underneath the left front of the car and just work up under that car and tear some of the crush panels and those brackets out from under the car. They were in on the wheel. So Sam Mayer just said the car swapped ends on him down there. Back out, put 4 tires on. Austin Green, a driver that's on pit road as well, and they're working on, looks like maybe some braking issues. It looks like they're checking the reservoir for the brake fluid on that car, so maybe a little braking issues for Austin Green, as he is also on pit road here during this caution period.
This is the first caution flag of the race. There's Josh Williams, Austin Green have come in, as well as Parker Retzloff. They have all made their way to the pit lane as well. Now, Brad Gilley, you can't help but to keep a close eye on what Daniel Suarez is doing. One of the best cars in practice earlier today, crashed in qualifying, started dead last in 36th, or rather is. But Brady's made his way up to 25th in the opening 2 laps.
Yeah, he's making his way up pretty quick. And remember, this is a backup car that the team prepared just about 2.5 hours. They rolled it out to the grid right before pre-race ceremonies. Daniel just got on the radio, said the car has a little bit of wheel hop, a little more than what he'd like. With these solid rear axles in the Xfinity cars, you're going to get that. But he says the brakes are solid, and that is the thing that he had trouble with in practice when he crashed the primary car. Overall, Daniel Suarez is pretty happy as he's working his way up through the field.
And right now posted in the 25th position.
Here's what you missed last week on Toyota Gazoo Racing. Bubba was totally... as he around the pack managing to...
Yeah, well, as they go to ad break once again on MRN, we will momentarily step aside from MRN and go over to our good friends at USRN, the Ultimate Sports Radio Network, who have Matthew Owens and Seth Eves on the call, with myself stretched between many places like F1, NASCAR, and WEC at the full time. But yeah, if I press the right buttons, and, well, if I press that button, and I press that button, and I can say hello to Matthew Owens. Hello, Matthew.
Everyone is, we're on the same page now. It's been a hectic day, but glad we're just about all on the same page. What are you even doing right now? Are you on Le Mans, Canada, or Mexico? Or Gateway?
All of them.
Oh, that's the answer that most fits you, I believe.
Yes, I've got F1 on the big TV. My first main setup is on NASCAR, which I'm talking to you now. And then if I go over to my production mic, I can say hello to JB and the WEC broadcast. So multiple microphones. I've got an earpiece in my left ear with my headset on top of that.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Very good. Well, CW has missed the restart. Green flag is out, and we're racing down the 3/4 of a mile main straightaway once again, Seth. Ty Gibbs flares to the inside. Christopher Bell around the outside, locks up the right front tire. They're almost 4 wide going into the Solana curve.
Somebody's really smoking back there. Goodness gracious, what a wild start. Bell, a little bit off the course, trying to fight Gibbs. So it's the two Gibbs Cup drivers, Gibbs and Bell, battling for that top spot. Side by side on the approach to the corner is Ty Gibbs. He's going to clear Christopher Bell now. They work their way through 5, and now it will be Gibbs Bell. Meanwhile, further back, you got Carson Quapple and Jesse Love in a side-by-side battle, and William Sawalich has got off course.
Sawalich had to stop off to driver's left in turn 4, gets back going. Not sure what happened to the teenager from Minnesota. Leaders coming out of the S's here and towards the stadium section out of turn 9. Ty Gibbs gallops away from Christopher Bell by 1 car length. Connor Zilich is back to 3rd, pouring the pressure on Bell at 2nd. Then you've got Sammy Smith. Zilich has made up 2 positions already on the restart, Seth, through the very slow portion of the racetrack, this stadium section, where it could get very physical today and tomorrow.
Yeah, you better believe that it will get physical. As Zilich now tries to make some moves. You know, he's going to be a factor here today as they come to the stadium section and complete the 6th lap. Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Connor Zilich, Sammy Smith, Jesse Love, then Quapple, Allgaier, Gray, Sanchez, Hill. That's your top 10 as they, underneath the bridge, exit the long straightaway, then head to that sharp 90-degree corner. Even Duke's excited for the Chilango 150. Jeremy Clements.
We love Matthew Owens' dogs, don't we, Seth?
We do. We sure do. You know, Josh, I'm disappointed. Matthew didn't do It's Time to Drop the Hammer in Spanish. I've been having to pick up the slack on the Spanish during the first 7 laps of this broadcast.
He might be leaving it until tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just playing chicken. He's like, I've been teasing this whole time, and I'm just going to be all serious tomorrow. Yeah, right.
Yeah, definitely.
Suarez, again, just to explain to a new audience, perhaps, that is the black number 9, but it wasn't built like that. That car had full Quaker State paint and sponsorship on that livery, but he crashed in practice, and with this being a one-day show, had to get basically a dummy car, a black 9 there for Daniel Suarez, and he continues to be stuck in traffic as he works around Christian Eckes and the number 6 car, Chris Wright. Oh, boy, Daniel, you don't run Xfinity Series often, so here's my advice. Get away from Chris Wright as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that last weekend in the Euro NASCAR Series, the 24 having a big crash into Paddock Hill Bend on the Friday test practice day. And then it turned up on Saturday morning ready for qualifying, as up the inside, that is the 88 on the 24, isn't able to get past. But yeah, turned up Saturday morning and qualifying, all fixed, but it was black with only a lime green bumper. And then on Sunday, of course, it wrecked the bumper, so then it just turned to be a full black car.
They worked their way through. I believe Matthew's back.
Yep, turn 4, the leaders here, as we just had a moment in the stadium section. Harrison Burton losing control at turn 14, and around went his AM Racing Ford. Looped it around, grabbed a gear, and kept going. Here's the leaders coming up out of the S's, swinging it wide to driver's right out of turn 9 is Ty Gibbs, now heading down the shortest of the 3 straightaways. Christopher Bell ahead of Connor Zilich at second as they turn sharply to the right, turn 10. That then begins the run through the stadium section. Quick jaunt to a left-handed turn 11. Quick flick of the wrist back to the right for turn 12. Now in towards the Peraltada, which is a quick section, a quick flick of the wrist to the right, which leads you to the full right-hander and sweeps you back onto the main straightaway. We're going wide out of turn 15 as Jesse Love gets back on the track ahead of Carson Quaffle at the 5th position. 8 laps complete of 20 in this opening stage, and Connor Zilich is going to poke out of the drafting pocket to driver's right on Christopher Bell, under braking to the Solana chicane, and making the pass is Zilich to take over the 2nd position. Flick back to the left for turn 2, to the right for turn 3, and Connor Zilich has completed the pass for the 2nd position, Seth.
Zilich up to 2nd. He's one to watch, I would think, here today, and obviously you say, whoa, that's a bit of a lockup or something from the back of that car. I think he's going to be a man on a mission, especially after he got elbowed out of the way by the Zilich, by Gibbs earlier. Is Harrison Burton continuing to be way off the pace?
Yep, trying to rebound after the spin there is Burton. Down the Recta del Ovalo, which is, of course, the straightaway of the oval here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. That leads you back into turn number 10. Something extra must be going on with Harrison Burton for the cameras to be focused that much on him after that spin. He's dropped down to 35th. Shame for Austin Green, whatever happened to him. He started 14th and is now down to 37th. Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez has moved up quickly to the 18th position. Andres Perez de Lara from Mexico City runs 16th as the leaders head down this 3/4 of a mile main straightaway. Ty Gibbs has a car length and a half on Connor Zilich. Under braking goes the Supra of Gibbs, followed by Zilich in the Camaro through turn 1 and through the Solana S's. And Gibbs will sling it wide out of turn 3, so too does Zilich. Now, if those wondering about track limits this weekend, such a big conversation, of course, at COTA earlier this year, track limits, there are no track limits on corner exits here. The only track limits we have this weekend is towards the S's. That's where the leaders are heading now. There's a yellow stripe on the track. In fact, Gibbs and Zilich have just passed it right there through the S's. There are yellow lines a la Daytona and Talladega, where out of bounds is there, and Atlanta. There's a yellow line through portions of the S's. That is the track limits mark on this racetrack. Only in those corners, however. And the penalty has changed for track limits, too. Much like we saw at COTA, if you do violate track limits this weekend, you do not have to come down pit road for a pass-through penalty. Drivers and teams thought that it was too big of a penalty to have to come down pit road for such a small gain of track limits. So, Seth, later in the lap, if you break track limits in the S's, there's like a joker lap that you have to go through to give back the time that you gained if you violate track limits over there in the S's.
I'm sure, yeah. Hold up just 1 second here. Yeah, so you said there are track limits at that portion of the racetrack this week.
Correct.
I'm sure Matt White will be muy agradecido.
Well, you can certainly tell that they have tried their best to make that as simple as possible over there in that section. As Sheldon Creed at the 10th position, heading down the Recta Trancera towards turn 4, Seth, is under pressure from Austin Hill and Nick Sanchez.
Yeah, he is under a lot of pressure, so that's at 10th place. Of course, the last stage point up for grabs. 10 laps to go in this opening stage. Meanwhile, at 7th place, Justin Allgaier feeling the heat from Taylor Gray as they go through the S's at that portion of the racetrack. So that's a good battle going on there. Gray slides it a little bit as they work their way through the corner. So Allgaier has the spot ahead of. And meanwhile, Gray, battle for the lead, 3 under a blanket, Mr. Owens.
Out of the Peraltada, Connor Zilich is back to the bumper cover of Ty Gibbs. Gibbs swings up out of turn 15, and he's going to go right down the middle of the racetrack. Now drifts further to the right towards the pit wall. A defensive line here from Gibbs. Connor Zilich pokes out of the drafting pocket, flares to driver's left. Christopher Bell behind and watching this battle as underbraking towards the Solana S's. Gibbs with that defensive line holds onto the lead. Now a crossover from Zilich in turn 2. Quick flick back to the right for turn 3. Zilich cannot get to Gibbs this time. Ty Gibbs continues to lead heading down the Recta Trancera.
Indeed. It's 3 under a blanket. Who's going to poke out a line first? Gibbs is going to keep the lead for now. It's Zilich and Bell. Bell, boy, oh boy. Mere inches from that wall there was Christopher Bell under a blanket as he battles with Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilich. Now Bell backs off. And the camera had a mare, and then we go purple, and then we go back there. Okay. Yeah, we're really throwing everything up here. But anyway, it's Gibbs who has the lead. Then Zilich, then Bell. It remains 1, 2, 3.
Into the stadium section, Ty Gibbs turns left into turn number 11. Quick back to the right for 12. Bouncing off the curbs. Gibbs followed by Zilich and Bell. These were the 3 that were anticipated to be the class of the field today. They have separated themselves from 4th place running Sammy Smith by 4 seconds. They scream across the line. Gibbs this time, not so much of a defensive line down the straightaway, but Zilich in his slipstream. This straightaway is so long, you can get a really good pull. Now Gibbs does go defensive. Zilich again will flare out to the outside. Underbraking to the Solana S's. Zilich puts the bumper to the back of the Monster Energy Toyota of Gibbs. Doesn't move him out of the way, though. Gibbs will hold on to the lead coming out of turn 3. Down the Recta Trancera now. The second longest straightaway on the course. Zilich again pokes out towards the 180-degree right-handed turn 4, Seth, but there's no room. Gibbs protects the curb to driver's right up against the retaining wall that was not here last time in that section when NASCAR was here last. Gibbs holds to the lead as they go to the S's.
Gibbs keeps the lead as they go through the S's. He leads Zilich and Bell. Bell again kind of backing off just a little bit, perhaps waiting for these two to continue what they did back on lap 2, perhaps. So Bell about a car length back of these two, but it's still Ty Gibbs with the lead. Then Connor Zilich second. Gibbs again driving well, keeping Zilich at bay. Perhaps Zilich doesn't want to be too overly aggressive. They work their way through the stadium section. Gibbs, Zilich, Bell, 1, 2, 3.
Gibbs hops off the curbing to driver's right, heading towards the Peraltada, where Christopher Bell gets out of shape and spins. The third-place car spins in the Peraltada, just avoids the wall to driver's left, now has to find a gap in the traffic to be able to stab the throttle and get back going in the right direction. He has done that. He's lost 3, 4, maybe 5 positions as Taylor Gray and Justin Allgaier drive around him. Back to the main straightaway. Wide to driver's left goes Sheldon Creed to pass Christopher Bell as the Sam Hunt Racing Toyota recovers from his spin. The battle for the lead, Seth, is back in the Solana S's.
And Zilich is right on the bumper of Gibbs, almost touching him. It's Gibbs ahead of Zilich under the Banamex bridge now as they go down a long straightaway in their own right. And I think we're going to get another look at what happened with the Seabell here.
Yeah, Bell was on the curbing to driver's left, going to the Peraltada, and just lost it under braking on the curbing. That very well may still be a bit wet from the moisture earlier. Just lost it under braking. Meanwhile, Zilich and Gibbs through the S's. Zilich is sticking with Gibbs, stride for stride, in his tire tracks as they head down towards turn number 10, exiting 9, and Zilich and Gibbs, who are now 5 seconds clear of third place running Sammy Smith, continue their terrific battle for the lead. Further back, Seth, the Viking Motorsports number 99 of Matt DiBenedetto is in a bunch of traffic, and let's see where Christopher Bell has gotten to after the spin.
Yep, and he has Justin Allgaier locking up in front of him, so Bell's still in the top 10. He'll battle Allgaier and get by him for a spot, so Christopher Bell moving up, and Allgaier might have a problem.
Well, he definitely does. He's been smoking for about half a lap now. He goes wide off the Peraltada, now cuts down across the track, and Allgaier is coming to pit road. An issue for the championship leader.
Reigning champ, 3 wins this year, has won 3 times on the road, but mechanical issues early.
As we watch this 7-car Brandt Professional Agriculture Chevy.
4 tires on it.
We hear Jim Pullman there calling into the pits. A little bit of confusion by the team, not expecting anything like this. But as we go back to the 51 car, do you want to clean this up, Adam? I did call Clement's engines. They are Hendrick engines. That's something that I had celebrated as I raced against Jeremy for years in my career. They ran their own engines. This year have HMS under the hood. But I would.
So Allgaier changing tires on pit road, but it certainly looked like it wasn't a tire issue as the car was smoking. Christopher Bell, meanwhile, elbows his way through turn 4 to get around Sheldon Creed. 7th position now for Bell on the recovery drive.
Bell now trying to work his way through the traffic. And again, he is back in the 8th position, having just passed the Sheldon Creed automobile, or he did pass Creed, so that moves him up to 7th now. So Bell to P7, Christopher Bell in that blue, white, and orange number 24, working his way through the stadium section. The 24 car again of Christopher Bell. That spin, and trying to get through there. It's still Ty Gibbs the front.
Gibbs leading Zilich by less than a second. Meanwhile, Allgaier has pulled away from his pit box. Might turn in behind the wall. He is.
Oh, boy.
Allgaier is going to be done for the day, it would appear. Mechanical issue on car number 7. Championship leader by 92 points coming into action here today. 5 laps to go in the stage, and there's contact in the Solana S's, Seth.
Jesse Love just dumped Sammy Smith. I mean, let's be honest. That looked like a bump to me. Maybe another look at it will be there, but Sammy Smith gets bumped by Jesse Love. Love a little sideways. Well, maybe not a dump, but there was definitely contact from Love, and Sammy Smith goes around.
Those are the 2 protagonists from Rockingham, of course. Love won the race on the track, but Sammy Smith was credited for the win after Love's disqualification later in the day. Coming together, and Smith will lose plenty of track position there. That was a fight just outside of the top 5 going on. Actually, just inside the top 5, I beg your pardon. It was a fight for the 4th position, which Love now has. Sammy Smith will try to recover. He's got Brandon Jones bearing down on him, heading towards turn number 10. Under braking and turning to the right, Smith has Jones right behind him. And a train of traffic, in fact, just behind him, Seth. Sage Karam in car 53 is right there as Jones fights his way around Smith. Now Karam will try to do the same in the Peraltada.
Yeah, looking for a potential crossover move. Oh, Karam whips it a little bit wide there. Might leave the inside open for the Sieg machine. And they'll battle further back there. That's not Sieg. That is, who's that? Is that
DiBenedetto?
Yeah, my bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Matty D for the Viking Motorsport team.
How is Sage Karam 30 years old, by the way?
I remember when he skipped his senior prom to qualify at Indianapolis for the 500. As through the Solana S's now, DiBenedetto's made that pass on Karam, and right behind the both of them, Seth, that black Quaker State car, Daniel Suarez.
And don't count him out. He is going to be up in the mixer. You can bet your bottom dollar. And here he goes. He'll pull alongside the Sage Karam automobile. And Suarez gets by. So moves Suarez past the Karam machine. But at the front, no drama. Ty Gibbs has a lead of north of a second over Connor Zilich. His gap is 10.5 seconds to third place Carson Kvapil.
Yeah, Zilich has let Gibbs go a bit after those handful of laps where they were running nose to tail. Zilich has cooled his jets a little bit. As we get towards the end of this stage, here's Gibbs across the line. 3 laps to go in stage 1, 20 lap long this stage. And we should see cars on pit road this lap because remember, next time by, pit road will be closed. And right on cue, here comes Christopher Bell driving for Sam Hunt Racing with Mobil 1 sponsorship on the vehicle down the pits.
Yeah, that's right. It's a couple planned stops here for strategy. Start with Sheldon Creed in the 00, who's driven from 13 to 7th before he peeled off of pit road. Fairly happy with his race car all weekend. Still just getting the hang of this racetrack and figuring out what he needs from the car, but overall not too bad for the 00.
You just saw Christopher Bell there, although he moved camera shots, he was just locking up the front a little, said it made it hard to turn, and then on that spin he said, I just overcorrected and lost it, Dylan.
We'll see Daniel Suarez as well, who has continued to carve his way through the field. Happy with his race car, had gotten inside the top 15. They'll do what they can. Now we got a problem here as Dean Thompson is wedged into the pit stall in front of him.
Bit of a mess on pit road. Super slow stop for the Sheldon Creed team. And then Suarez, as you heard Dylan Welch mention there, got caught behind Dean Thompson and had to reverse his way out of the box. So track position lost for both of those drivers. Pit road is going to be a story all weekend long, Seth, today and tomorrow. It's a very narrow pit road. The pit boxes are very short, only 27 feet long. And, of course, we're pitting backwards from how we normally do on any given weekend. Coming to 2 to go in the stage, the 2 leaders have decided to flip the stage as well. Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilich are on pit road.
Kim?
Yeah, no major complaints from Ty Gibbs, and that was continuation from practice earlier. Very, very happy with the race car. He just said, overall, it's pretty good. I see it getting going on fire off, so no major changes for Ty Gibbs. As we look at the 88 of Connor Zilich, he finally came on the radio after silence for the majority of that stage and said, I'm just fighting the ladder a little bit free, so slight adjustment there for Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel.
This will give the lead to Carson Kvapil, and as they run now will be how they run here on the last lap and change of the stage. Connor Zilich has beaten Ty Gibbs off pit road, Seth. Just talking about the dramas of pit road, and what a stop by the 88 team to get Zilich out ahead of Gibbs.
Great stop there, and let's see what Gibbs is going to do. Oh, Zilich, a little bit of a lockup. Zilich stays ahead of Gibbs as they go through the first section of corners. Now it's Gibbs. Again, right to the bumper. A bit of a weeble and a wobble there for Zilich. But it's going to be Zilich in front of Gibbs as they work their way down the straightaway and into the corner. I can tell you, by the way, officially Jeremy Clements is now off the track as well. So tough break for him. Allgaier and Clements, 2 of the regular veterans in this series, done for the day.
Yeah, mechanical issues for both. So, as I mentioned, you can no longer pit during this stage because pit road is now closed. So Carson Kvapil has a comfortable lead on second and third place running Jesse Love and Taylor Gray. Those 2 are nose to tail coming out of the Peraltada. And as Kvapil comes to the main straightaway, he will start the last lap of the first stage. So Kvapil ahead by 2.5 seconds. Then the fight for second between Love and Gray. Stage points on the line here on this final lap of the stage, Seth, as Carson Kvapil leads towards the Solana S's.
Towards the Solana S's, battle on for second. Taylor Gray all over the back of Jesse Love. Then it is Hill, Sanchez, Jones, Karen DiBenedetto, Jeb Burton, and Alex LeBay back in NASCAR this week. He's in the top 10. But it's Carson Kvapil who has the lead, and this would be 10 big stage points and 1 big playoff point for him. Now Gray going to pull alongside Love to grab the second position. And they make a little contact going into the corner. And how about Taylor Gray elbows up, getting by Jesse Love to grab the number 2 position. Then he slides it sideways. So does Love. They were dirt tracking it out there on a road course.
Gray making a pass at turn 4. Great passing opportunity around this course. Now they muscle their cars. Gray in a Toyota Supra. Love in a Chevrolet Camaro through the S's. Exiting turn number 9 now. Down the shortest of the 3 straightaways, leading them into the stadium section. But ahead of them is Carson Quaffle coming into the day 9th in the playoff standing, Seth, only 37 points above the cut line. So as you rightly mentioned, it's going to be a big stage win for Quaffle, who's through the Peraltada coming to the stage flag.
It's Carson Quaffle who is going to come out of the corner. He'll come to the start-finish line, and he'll take stage number 1. Carson Quaffle getting it done. And this battle for second, Love ended up getting it. I don't know where. Well, I thought that was the 55. I'm such an idiot. Oh, Lord. Oi, ve, ocha cavesta. My eyes are burning.
So Carson Quaffle wins stage 1.
While I get the On This Date pulled up, Caitlin Clark was returned today. 7 threes, 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds over the undefeated New York Liberty.
Okay, very good.
As, yeah. So she's pretty good. Also, Burns and Spawn tied for the lead. Ortiz 2 back at the U.S. Open. And UCLA beat Murray State 6-4. I now have the dates pulled up. Would you like me to assume the Matthew White role?
Well, stage 1 is done here in Mexico, and we'll take a break and return with On This Day. Very good.
Wow. Absolutely, truly inspirational, that music. Thank you very much, Matthew Owens. Well, well, apologies for that microphone failure here on JB Motorsports. I believe I am still a little bit quiet, but I believe I am back with you guys. As hopefully you heard some truly inspirational traditional Mexican music from US Red heading back to the break. And I can hear Matthew Owens absolutely losing the will to live in the background. That is indeed one way to put it. But here on JB Motorsports, I'm physically having to shout, failed again. So, Matthew, I know you're on ad break, but please save us.
I will attempt to do the saving. I'm not a lifeguard. But anyway, on we go as we're under caution.
This is confusing. Are we in a break? Are we not in a break? This is confusing to me.
Yes, we're in a break on USRN. We are now back on the air on JBN because Josh is having mic issues.
Well, what? You on a break on Bug. God, son of a biscuit. This is...
Josh, God bless you, on 3 different races will keep you from having to shout and scream with microphone issues. Anyhow, so back on JBM, and we'll be on USRN here in a matter of moments. We should get some leaders on pit road. Cautions will be lengthy this weekend with, of course, the 2.4-mile lap. And this, Seth, is what everyone was excited for, the stadium section. We don't really have many tracks on the NASCAR circuit where we have a stadium section. We have it at COTA, of course, but we were really excited to see how many fans would pack this stadium section. The old baseball field, the Foro Sol, and we've had a lot today for practice and qualifying, and even more for the Xfinity race here on this Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. It is truly a sight to behold.
So we should see pit road be open this time around. Of course, most of the leaders pitted before pit road closed, before the stage ended. Not everybody did. And let's get a word from Carla Metz as she explores the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
Road course built in 1959, but it didn't get its unique name until 1973. If you know a little Spanish, you know Hermanos means brothers. Well, these are the 2 brothers that this track is named after. This is Ricardo and Pedro Rodriguez. They had a ton of success in a lot of different disciplines in motorsports, even had a brief involvement in NASCAR, but they got their name for being the best Mexican F1 drivers in the 1960s. They are truly motorsports legends here, and especially in open wheel racing. And still, Adam, they're considered to be the heart and the soul of the country.
That's the 2 brothers were the what this track was named after, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Yes.
You'll never guess what happened.
Oh, what happened?
You know that input microphone volume that you've been having a little bit of fun with the past couple of weeks?
Oh, yes.
That went down to 13.
For you?
For me.
Oh, dear me. I'm not going to say that I think I fixed it, because that would be jinxing it.
I mean, yeah.
But, yes, I understand the pain. Under caution here in Mexico, for those of you listening on JBM, we're going to pause for just a moment so we can rejoin USRN. We're back at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City, the most populous city in the Western Hemisphere. NASCAR Mexico weekend on USRN, today on the Deuce, and on JBM, of course, for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, the Chilango 150. Matthew Owen, Seth Eves, Josh T here with you, and stage 1 complete. Carson Quaffle winning the first stage. An eventful first stage for Daniel Suarez, who had to start at the back after a qualifying crash earlier this morning, then had to pick his way through traffic, ran into the back of a car coming to pit road, then got boxed in on pit road. It's been a struggle for Daniel, the national hero here in Mexico, as it has been certainly an eventful opening stage. Ruben Ravello has an issue under this caution flag as well. His car's smoking here, Seth, and something going on with Ruben Ravello while we're under this caution.
Tough break. Yeah, I could see that right over there. So, tough break is this darn being an I'll tell you, this is I'm quoting my in around Michaels. This is overwhelming. When you combine the fact that Matthew has had to backtrack and put the fraud card on, then I have to deal with the fact that we're in a break on one station, then not on a break on another. Now we're on both. I mean, a lot to take in. Can I do my freaking day on history now?
A lot goes on around here. Yes. Let's talk about what has happened on this day in racing history, June 14th.
Well, before we do that, actually, there is a driver in this field that has a birthday today. Thomas Annunziata, 20 years old today. So happy birthday to him as he runs in this race. Our most recent Xfinity Series race that was held on this day, it was on this day in 2020 when Chase Briscoe won the Xfinity Series Contender Boats 250 in Miami. Also on that Sunday, Denny Hamlin won the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead. On this day in 2015, Kurt Busch won the rain-shortened Quicken Loans 400 at Michigan. Joseph Newgarden won the IndyCar Series race at Toronto, while Earl Bamber, Nico Hulkenberg, and Nick Tandy won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. On this day in 2014, one of Matthew's favorites, Paul Menard, won the Ollie's Bargain Outlet 250 at Michigan for the Nationwide Series. I always like to do the Nationwide throw that because that is Busch, because that is what we're covering here. Speaking of which, we like Bill Weber around here. One of his final calls on this day in 2009, an unbelievable finish. Mark Martin winning the LifeLock 400 at Michigan after Jimmy Johnson and Greg Biffle both ran out of gas in the final 2 laps. I got to throw this one in here, Matthew. It was an On This Day from the Truck Series. On this day in 2008, Eric Darnell beat Johnny Benson in a photo finish to win the Cool City Customs 200 at Michigan.
Someone in the speed truck was sleeping.
Yeah, to put it mildly. Also on that day, Joey Logano won his first NASCAR National Series race, winning the Meyer 300 presented by Oreo at Kentucky. On this day in 1998, Mark Martin won the Miller Lite 400 at Michigan. And Matt Kenseth won the Busch Series Lycos.com 250 at Pikes Peak. On this day in 1992, Gerhard Berger won the Canadian Grand Prix. Alan Kulwicki won the Winston Cup Champion Spark Plug 500 at Pocono. We also ran at Pocono on this day in 1987, where late Tim Richmond won the Miller High Life 500.
Yes, we run a lot of June Sundays at Pocono.
Yeah, and Michigan. On this day in 1987, Bobby Rahal won the CART Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200 presented by Texaco at Portland. And Derek Bell, Al Hulbert, Hans Joachim Stuck won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Tommy Houston won a Busch race on this day in 86, the Pool Equipment 150 at Orange County Speedway. Darrell Waltrip won the Warner W. Hodgson 400 Winston Cup race at Riverside on this day in 1981. In 1981, also, it was Derek Bell and Jackie Ickx combined to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. A network favorite one on this day in 1980, Beaver Dragon won the NASCAR North Tour Adrianac 50 at the Plattsburgh International Raceway. And finally, on this day in 1919, Ralph De Palma won the International Sweepstakes Main, the AAA Champ Car Series at the Sheepshead Bay Raceway.
Oh, wow.
That is on this day in racing history with quite the eclectic cast of characters.
Well, very good. Thank you very much for that. As we are still under the caution, as we mentioned, cautions will be lengthy here this weekend. Drivers that did not pit before Stage 1 ended have come down pit road, so the scoring will recycle, and we will set that running order for you just before we go green here in a few moments.
Cloudy day here in Mexico City. What did you say, the largest city in the Western Hemisphere?
Yeah, most populous city in the Western Hemisphere, Mexico City. A lot of people in this city.
Too many for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, Tokyo, of course, is the most populous city in the world. But Mexico City's population is up over 22 million, which is just massive. 22.8 million people in a 15,963 square mile city. That's a lot of people per square mile.
Yeah.
In fact, if I get the old thinking cap on, my math tells me that's 1,365 people per square mile. That is a hell of a lot of people per square mile. Holy smokes. That is a ton of human beings. Good gracious. I'll take my vacation house in Walnut Cove and stay there.
Probably a good idea.
But great to be back. Of course, a lot's been made during the week of the travel, of course, for the Cup Series gang going from Brooklyn, Michigan to Mexico City, then back up north to Pocono, Pennsylvania next weekend. Of course, that's not how it was supposed to lay out. When the 2025 schedule was first made, it was supposed to be Michigan to Montreal to Pocono, and it would have been a much easier trek for everyone. But the race up in Montreal at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve was not okayed by all the promotional people involved there. Therefore, the international race, which was already stuck between Michigan and Pocono, had to be moved to Mexico. And then, as we know, this weekend was supposed to be in Montreal when the schedule was first announced, Seth, and it turned out that Formula One is in Montreal this weekend. The F in F1 standing for frauds.
I was going to say, the F1 butting their nose in and ruining it for everybody else. Where have I heard that before?
So anyhow, field doubled up. They just took the choose. The choose this weekend is out of turn 9 down the Recta Ovalo. And we are coming to the restart, second restart of the day, Seth, and you're going to have the two drivers that everyone believes is the class of the field on the front row together, Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilisch. And then in row 2, you're going to have the guy that tried to stick with them through most of that first stage before his spin, Christopher Bell. He's already rebounded to get to third.
All right, here we go. Pace car in, about ready to get restarted. Zilisch, Gibbs, then Christopher Bell, Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, William Sawalich, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Ellis, your top 8. Green flag back of the air. Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye, the top 10. Green flag back of the air, lap 26 as they head through the main straightaway. And it's Zilisch clear to the lead as they work their way through. They fan out. Here's Christopher Bell going to driver's left, wanting to make a move himself. Matthew Owens, who's going to have the lead going to turn 1.
Connor Zilisch under braking to the lead. Ty Gibbs has been shuffled. Christopher Bell through the Solana S gets to second. Daniel Suarez motors up to third. A roar from the grandstands to driver's left as Suarez makes a pass up to the third position. Gets around Sammy Smith. Ty Gibbs heads down the Recta Transera. He shuffled down to 5th, but now in turn 4 goes after Sammy Smith to try to at least get back up to 4th. He'll do so in turn 4.
Good move right here as Connor Zilisch tries to pull away. Everybody gets through the first half of the track, I suppose, in this restart unscathed as they fan out and work their way through the S's. It is still Connor Zilisch with the race lead. Christopher Bell second. Daniel Suarez now up to third. Gibbs 4th. Sammy Smith slides in front of Sheldon Creed for 5th as we see how Daniel Suarez got those spots.
Yeah, he restarted on row 3, went to the inside of Sheldon Creed, made it 3 wide in the slipstream of Sammy Smith, just drafted his way up alongside Ty Gibbs. Dove to the inside of Smith, and Suarez, with a terrific restart, has moved up into the 3rd position. Down the Recta Principale comes the leaders, and back towards turn number 1. Connor Zilisch leads from Christopher Bell, then Suarez, then Gibbs. That's the top 4. Already starting to jog away from 5th place running Sammy Smith, who is just in front of Sheldon Creed, and William Sawalich, who went for a spin in the opening stages, rebounded to 7th. Then Ryan Ellis. Took him an absolute age to get from Charlotte to Mexico City this week. He is making the trip worth his while, running in 8th from Daniel Dye and Dean Thompson.
So working his way through. Meanwhile, here is Jesse Love trying to grab a place. Carson Quapple, he'll be one to watch. He's stuck in traffic. Nick Sanchez makes a pass on Harrison Burton. Sam Mayer He's been in regroup mood for a while now after he hit the wall earlier to bring out the first caution of the day. He's battling with Austin Hill way back there. Again, roughly outside the top 10, you've got these battles going on as some drivers on differing strategies and having other pit issues is kind of jumping up the order. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs, Matthew, looking for third on Daniel Suarez.
In turn 10, he tried to brake to his inside. That now turns to the outside for turn number 11 into 4-0 Soul. Gibbs stays right in behind Suarez. One would be very mindful to tell Ty Gibbs, don't rough up the national hero. The crowd will not love that, especially if you do it in the stadium section. Holding on to the third position is Suarez down the Recta Principale. And the fans going crazy and kissing one another as Suarez defends the third position.
Wow. There's a crowd shot. I thought only Fox did the crowd shots, but, whatever. And, oh, boy, Suarez got a little dent on the front of that Chevrolet.
Yeah, that's fine. That came from when he run into Sammy Smith on pit road before the end of stage 1. He's fine there. What he's not fine with, Seth, is Ty Gibbs hounding him.
Pass him cleanly, Ty, or you'll regret it for the rest of your days. Here's Gibbs. And he'll go through. So move.
Oh, and there's a Chris Wright crash for the weekend.
Jeez.
That Chris Wright crash is brought to you by the Wright Automotive Group. Get right with Chris Wright Automotive Group, where all he does is turn left straight into you. He's been crashed. He's been run into at turn 3. Contact with Austin Green. Always finds a way to be pointed the wrong direction. Gibbs has made the pass.
This wasn't his fault this time, to be fair. Austin Green hit him.
Thank you. Yes, very, very good, yes. Gibbs has made the pass for third on Suarez. Gibbs has an extremely fast car. That Monster Energy 19 is going to be very difficult to beat. Anthony Alfredo off the track. The S's and perhaps a flat tire there on the Alfredo car, sponsored by Dude Wipes for Young's Motorsports this weekend. Here comes a bunch of the leaders through the Peril Tata. Carson Quaffle has company to his right elbow. Andres Perez de Lara, the 20-year-old from Mexico City, Seth. Now drag racing Quaffle down the Recta Principale.
Up the sideline, up the straightaway.
Up the sideline. Very good.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Or Jesus, Mary and Joseph. As Anthony Alfredo has had a problem. Oh, boy.
Second issue of the
Fast
lap.
Pasta doesn't play well in Mexico, apparently.
No, he'd do better in Italy. Comes to pit road with a flat left rear tire. So finally does limp his way to pit road. Here's Gray on the move. Taylor Gray at taking the 9th position in the Curva NASCAR from Ryan Ellis.
Ryan Ellis trying to, which he needs, especially after the adventure of this earlier this week. Meanwhile, Sam Mayer about to lose a spot there. The 91 car there was just, boy, he went way to the corner. Whoa, sideways, and that's going to force Austin Hill off the course.
Boy, Andres Perez de Lara all over the place through the S's, and as Seth mentioned, Austin Hill angles to his inside. Harrison Burton wanted to make it 3 wide, going to turn 10. It's better of it. Hill runs Perez de Lara wide. Mexican fans will get to their feet seeing the Telcel 91 race hard with Austin Hill. Andres Perez de Lara into the Peril Tata. Austin Hill fist fighting him for that position just outside the top 10.
Indeed. This is going to get hairy. And meanwhile, you've got Harrison Burton and Matt DiBenedetto just behind Perez. Josh Williams also in that mix on the main straightaway as they work their way and head it down that long straightaway. Jesse Love trying to grab a spot. He battles Dean Thompson. That is for 10th, and Love's got it.
So Love takes the place there. Anthony Alfredo, went through the S's with a flat left rear tire. No contact to create that flat tire. Just went flat on its own. Held up Alex LeBay and Ryan Sieg a bit before he went on his spin. So that's what happened to Alfredo. Cars passing him left, right, and center before he spun with the flat tire. So he did make it to pit road as we documented. In fact, spun twice on the lap, I believe. Yep, spun in the S's, then spun in the stadium at the 4-0 Soul. But Alfredo is back on the track after a very difficult 2.5 miles there. Connor Zilich leads Christopher Bell by 2 seconds. We are halfway through stage number 2. Here is Carson Quaffle at turn 10, right around the outside. And as he makes his way past Ellis, Nick Sanchez is there with Sam Mayer. Brandon Jones heads that pack into the Peraltada.
Yeah, so there's a little strength up for say there. Said yeah, so Annunziata, the birthday boys we mentioned earlier, and there's Carson Sam Mayer going past Ryan Ellis, 17th place.
Sam Mayer, as we mentioned earlier, 3rd in the championship standings, crashing on up in turn 10, but has kept going despite Dan Factory Team Ford. 30 laps complete of 65 in the race, 10 laps complete of 20 in stage number 2. And we've had a change for the second position that the CW has missed. Ty Gibbs has maneuvered his way around Christopher Bell. Gibbs moves up into the second position. Bell backslides to 3rd. Daniel Suarez is 4th, and Sammy Smith is 5th. Austin Hill apparently has a flat tire. He just had that big race with Andres Perez de Lara a couple of laps ago, Seth, and a right front tire is now cut down on the 21 car of Austin Hill from Winston, Georgia.
Yep, so Austin Hill with a flat tire way off the pace, and that is going to we talked about this off air earlier this week, I think. He's got the wins, Austin Hill, but the way he's won those races and where he's won them, you wonder, has he really had as good a year as the stats would lead you to believe? And, well, struggling today here in Mexico. Now, what's this with Zilich and Alfredo?
Yes, Alfredo coming off of pit road, weaving right over and into the leader, Connor Zilich. Wow. Why would you do a thing like that? Meanwhile, fight for 3rd at the Solana S. Daniel Suarez throwing haymakers with Christopher Bell as they race down.
Daniel Suarez is going to be throwing elbows out if he can get a chance this weekend. You better believe that today and tomorrow as he tucks in behind Christopher Bell. Suarez running in 4th. Then you have Sammy Smith in the 5th position as we...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of smoke.
Yeah, that's when the tire went down on Austin Hill. Right front went down right on the approach to turn 4. He actually did well to keep from going straight through turn 4 and go off the course. As Seth mentioned, 3 wins on the season for Hill at Atlanta, Talladega, and Martinsville. Will stay on the lead lap, has gotten to pit road with that flat tire and keeps on going. Fight for the 6th position in the stadium section, Seth. In fact, in the Peraltada now is the Pit Boss Carne Asada car of Sheldon Creed. We cut away from that to see a spun Carson Quaffle in turn 10.
Tough break for him. Oh, boy, contact in the stadium section there between Mayer and Sanchez. Sanchez has that outside line, and he's got it.
So Sanchez gets around Sam Mayer, who now pulls back alongside of him here on the Recta Principale. Let's figure out what happened to Carson Quaffle running in behind Dean Thompson and Brandon Jones. And just like Sam Mayer earlier, wheel hopped going into the corner, clattered into the side of Thompson. Quaffle goes around, picks up a gear, and gets back going. Mayer has since repassed Nick Sanchez and Anthony Alfredo, who's on fresh tires after that unscheduled pit stop, trying to pick his way through traffic, is right on the back of those two. Thomas Annunziata in this pack, along with Ryan Ellis and Matt DiBenedetto, going to the curve of NASCAR, turn 4.
Indeed. They work there through that corner, and it is still Bell ahead of Suarez back at 3rd. Then Sammy Smith in 5th. Creed and Sawalich close to each other for 6th. You're not missing anything at the front. Connor Zilich has a lead just north of 3 seconds over Ty Gibbs in this race.
Yeah, Gibbs has been unable to stick with Zilich. Of course, Gibbs lost all that track position on the restart, had to really work hard to get back up to second, and while doing that, lost a lot of time. Although on that last lap, he cut basically a second off the lead. It went from 3.3 seconds to 2.4. As we have just completed lap number 33 here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. We are halfway home, Josh T.
Broadcasting around the world from the USRN, Ultimate Sports Radio Network Broadcast Center on Mixlr. This is your NASCAR Xfinity Series mid-race report.
Thank you, Dan. We're halfway home here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Connor Zilich leads by about 2 seconds on Ty Gibbs. Those two have been the dominant force so far today. We have had 2 caution flags, one on lap 3 for a Sam Mayer crash in turn number 10. The other was for stage 1 ending. Stage 1 was won by Carson Quaffle. Normal road course stage strategy going on there to get Quaffle the stage win. The top 4 right now, Zilich, Gibbs, Bell, and Suarez, have been the fearsome foursome of the day. Suarez started last on the grid after a crash earlier this morning and has worked his way from 39th and last on the grid up to the 4th position. Is he good enough to challenge Zilich, Gibbs, or Bell? We will find out as the day goes on. We have had 3 lead changes today among 3 different drivers. Ty Gibbs has led 18 laps. Connor Zilich has led 10. Carson Quaffle has led 5 laps. Of the 39 starters here this afternoon, 3 are off the racetrack, those being Jeremy Clements, Justin Allgaier, and Ruben Rovello, all with mechanical failures. 35 cars are on the lead lap. The only car off the lead lap is 36th place running Anthony Alfredo. And that's been your NASCAR Xfinity Series mid-race report here in Mexico City, JT. Okay, very good.
That was your NASCAR Xfinity Series mid-race report from USRN, the Ultimate Sports Radio Network.
So we're naming this one Dan?
Sure.
That's what you said. You called him Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So,
we got Ashley Gomez on the NBA halftime report. So
did you like the Mexican twist I put on it?
I very much did. It was very nice, very well done out of you. As usual, JT is on it. Don't know what he's on, but he's on it.
What was the Mexican twist? I must have missed it.
The Mexican music underneath, yeah.
Look.
Oh, I didn't hear that. It must have
Broadcasting around the
thing. I didn't hear the music. It must have been a JB only thing. All right. Carry on.
So we'll carry on. We'll press on like a Lee nail. 6 laps to go in stage 2. We'll try to press on like a Lee nail. Some of these things are going over like a lead balloon.
Can you guys not hear it on the
That's one way to put it.
Music?
No, I could faintly hear the Mexican music. I don't believe Seth could.
Okay.
But yeah, I could faintly, yeah. Anyway, we're at 35 laps down, 30 to go, and 5 to go in stage 2. And Seth, about that fearsome foursome, Zilich, Gibbs, Bell, and Suarez. That's, of course, 3 Cup Series regulars, and then the guy in Zilich, which is just a revelation on these road courses. I just don't see anyone being able to penetrate those 4 at the top of the scoring pylon.
Right. Anyway, right now I don't know if anybody has anything for Zilich.
No, I don't think so. I think Gibbs is the only guy that can beat him. Let's see. The gaps are Zilich 1.5 seconds up on Gibbs. Bell is 8.5 seconds back, and Suarez is 11.5 back. So it's a big spread between the top 4. Let's listen in to Daniel Suarez here as the CW rides on board.
Racetrack, just keep that car's momentum moving forward. We mentioned that being a backup car, the hardest part for these teams when they go to a backup is all the interior stuff. Getting that situated for the driver. These backups aren't specific to one team anymore. Often the team has to put that driver's seat and pedals in. So hopefully he's comfortable in there, but so far, looks smooth right there behind the wheel.
He does look smooth. Couple of courtesy brake pumps down into turn 11, making sure he had a full pedal. If we stay with him, we would see it in turn 1. One thing I can say about Daniel Suarez, and I don't think he would mind me saying this, he likes his interior to be how he likes it. There's no way he's going to take anything from anybody else.
And we're giving a shout out to the crew because they did an unbelievable job of putting this backup car together. I want to give some love to our crew. The guys at BSI had to go over there, let the team do their work, and then they install these cameras so we have these great pictures. That's what it's all about. And as I'm on that, let's just salute everyone in NASCAR because the challenges of coming south of the border are huge. And we've seen it on the TV side, that everyone has rallied together to make this weekend a possibility. So we thank everybody for their hard work and dedication, long days and nights to make this product so special here today. And obviously,
well, no doubt it has been a strain on a lot of people inside the industry, Seth, to make this weekend possible.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of work goes in to any NASCAR weekend, but especially all the logistics of this weekend. Not great, but they've been able to work with it here so far. And they were able to get here. We're all here. We're all ready to go. And hopefully we'll have a great show here at the end. Obviously, Connor Zilic is threatening to stink it up right now, but I know got a problem here. Is it the birthday boy?
Yeah, so Carson Quaffle and Thomas Annunziata were on pit road this lap, and Annunziata can't get his car fired. Oh, and Christopher Bell is blown up in the Peraltada, third place running car. Wow, and that thing, whoa, oh my goodness, this is kablamo on a major level for Christopher Bell.
Willie, baby.
Yeah, this is kablamo.
William Solage about to run over the blown engine. Make sure he doesn't.
Daniel Suarez on pit road. Everybody coming to pit road because there's 3 to go in the stage. Yeah, Bell has stopped on the entrance to pit road towards the pit wall, trying to get out of everyone's way as that engine just stopped on him. You got Daniel Suarez on pit road. He's side-goggly in his box for the second time today, and they've struggled to get the right rear change because it was so close to the wall. He's finally away. Ryan Ellis and Austin Green on pit road. We have not thrown a caution for the Christopher Bell issue, though. Let's go to pit road.
Yeah, and Christopher Bell came on the radio and said, it's dead, guys. Brian Gainey, the crew chief, coming on the radios, apologizing to his driver. Gainey had told me this morning this was absolutely the best car they had ever put together. They were here for a win, so huge disappointment for what Sam Hunt Racing thought might be their first team win.
Yeah, that's such a shame for Sam Hunt Racing. Christopher Bell, who won on the road course in Austin, Texas in the Cup Series earlier this year, done for the day. Coming to 2 to go in the stage, and very predictably, the 2 leaders, Zilic and Gibbs, are going to flip the stage and come to pit road.
8 leading the 19. Zilic in front of Gibbs coming in here, Kim.
That's right. No major complaints from each of those drivers. The big thing that Marty Lindley has been harping, and he told me this morning he had a conversation with Connor. He was afraid that Ty was going to bait Connor into overusing his rear tires. He has been reminding his driver to manage his stop as we're watching stops in tandem for both of those drivers. Left side tires going on. It's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires for both of those drivers, and we'll see who wins the race off pit road.
Zilic, remember, beat Gibbs off pit road last time. Gibbs' car is down before Zilic's is. Christopher Bell window net down on his smoky car, but hold on, Seth. Gibbs and Zilic are door-to-door on pit exit.
When Gibbs on the main straightaway, they are still dead even. Gibbs and Zilic both dead even. They cut just in front of Matt DiBenedetto. Believe Zilic is going to have the preferred line. He's going to clear him. Yes, Connor Zilic by. Gibbs crossover, no. Zilic in front.
Zilic stuffed it into the first turn at the Solana S, but Gibbs is still on him. This will be for the lead. Of course, it's not for the lead now. Oh, is down the second longest straightaway on the course. Could we stop changing camera angles, please? Gibbs goes wide in curve of NASCAR.
He does go wide. That will allow Zilic to pull away even further in that red, white, and blue, number 88. It is Connor Zilic ahead of Ty Gibbs with 2 to go in the stage. Zilic now trying to drive away. You won't be able to drive too far away, just at least here because the stage is almost over. It's Zilic, Gibbs, Smith. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sammy Smith is the leader as we come to the final lap of the stage here. He has stayed out to try to get the stage win, and that would be massive for him because Sammy Smith needs as many playoff points as he can after getting the Rockingham win inherited to him earlier this year. He's locked into the playoffs, but only has 6 playoff points. So Sammy Smith into the Solana S has started the last lap of the second stage. He leads Taylor Gray by a comfortable margin of 4 seconds. Austin Hill is spun at Curva NASCAR all the way out to that wide area to driver's left. He's gotten it back pointed the right direction, and he really needs to because he needs to get to the line before Sammy Smith to stay on the lead lap. Meanwhile, here's Smith, as we talked about. The playoff point that he's about to receive here, Seth, if he can hold on, is massive for a Rockingham winner. Through the S as he comes for the last time in this middle stage.
Yep, Sammy Smith at the front in that pilot, red, white, and black pilot number 8. Sammy Smith, who spun out earlier, he's going to cruise to a stage win ahead of Gray, Creed, Jones, and Eckes. Then it's going to be Dye, Thompson, Sanchez, Zilich, and Gibbs. I got salts. I knew it was going to happen at some point this year. I get Sawalich and Zilich mixed up because for some reason I did last year, and I'm doing it again, and it happened today in Mexico. See what changing countries does to me? Sammy Smith's going to win stage 2.
Green and white checkered flag waving. Sammy Smith wins his second stage of the season by 4 seconds over Taylor Gray. So stage 2 in the books here. Sammy Smith scoring the stage 2 victory in Mexico City. As Seth mentioned, the top 8 choosing to stay out for the stage points. Zilich and Gibbs, who pitted still, get 9th and 10th respectively. We'll see where Daniel Suarez fell all the way back to after his very slow pit stop. So that's one of our contenders that we just lost here, Christopher Bell for Sam Hunt Racing. Engine expiring on the Mobil 1 Toyota Supra. And out of the race he goes after running top 5, basically the entire race. So I feel like we've set the stage pretty well here, and now that we've lost Bell, we're down from a fearsome foursome to a terrible trio of Zilich, Gibbs, and Suarez are going to be the guys. One of those 3 are likely going to win, Seth, because they've been so dominant today. The problem for Suarez is that slow stop has put him back all the way back in 19th.
Indeed. So that's going to be that's a tough one.
So under caution for the 3rd time in the Chilango 150 here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City.
The Chilango. I love that, by the way. The Chilango.
The NASCAR Mexico weekend underway. And tomorrow we hope you'll join us back here for the NASCAR Cup Series as they run the Viva Mexico 250. We'll be on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow for the first NASCAR Cup Series race here in Mexico. It's the first international points-paying race for the Cup Series in the modern era. They did run points races up in Ontario, Canada, back in the 1950s. But this will be the first international race for the Cup Series in the modern era tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
2:30 on USRN.
It'll be an historic day. The two of us and Matt White, as I see a Big Ten Saturday night commercial on the other screen watching the United States Open.
Yes, they have a loaded schedule.
Yeah.
This year.
Well, they do. Well, they do get. I guess that's the cost for getting Penn State and Oregon.
I suppose so.
The first week of the year. You seem a little out of sorts today, man. You know what's going on with you. You don't seem as chipper as I thought you would be. All I know is.
Yes.
All I know is, and you cut me off, not letting me talk. I know there's a lag going on here. You're like Paul Page in the 92 Indy 500, not letting anybody talk.
That might be the reason. We might have some. You've heard of the Mexican wave. We might have the Mexican lag going on.
about Chris? But yeah, so tough break for Christopher Bell there in the 24 as he blows up. Let's see. So, again, we both are the belief that Zilich is the car to beat, but, you know, we get this could be the last restart, and, you know, 24 to go. The number, at least, is you know, minuscule to a degree. So, I don't know. They're not wanting to go elbows up here on this restart. You just never know.
Yeah, and the restart could be the race, because we should be done with pit stops. They told us
Yeah, that's
the
what
fuel
I was
window.
That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, the fuel window, we were told, should be at or around 30 laps. Well, this final stage is only 25, and it'll be less than that left when we take the green. So we should be done with pit stops at least under green. So the restart's going to be massive. And the question will be, who gets out in front, Gibbs or Zilich, or do those two tangle and let someone else get by them? Let's hear from Christopher Bell. He's with Dylan Welch.
Racing 24 team. Any indication that anything was going wrong before it all did go wrong?
No. And let it be known that I did not miss a shift with the H pattern. So, I was worried about that coming in, but no, I don't know. Just let go. They're getting into the stadium section, so it's a bummer. It's obviously was going to be a really good run for the Sam Hunt Racing Group, and yeah, I thought our car did some things really well, and some things that needed to be a little bit better. Clearly, the 88 and the 19 are the class of the field, but seemed like we were the best of the rest.
Thanks, Christopher.
Yeah, at least he still has a sense of humor about him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame for Christopher, who looked like he was going to have at least a chance against those top two, because that 24 car was fast all day long. So, what you got today for a hot lap?
We only do that during cup races, I thought.
Well, what do you want to do for stage 2 today, then?
How about a Wide World of Sports update?
Okay.
Let's start in golf at Oakmont. The United States Open, third round action. And right now, Sam Burns and J.J. Spahn at 3 under share the lead. Then 2 back, you have Victor Hovland and Mexican golfer Carlos Ortiz. Adam Scott and Thurston Lawrence also in the mix at even. As Matthew and the people that know way more about golf than me can attest to, they say it's a typical U.S. Open. I guess that means scoring not overly high. Major League Baseball. Saturday, a few Saturday afternoon games are done. Miami has beat Washington 4-3. How about this, Matthew? The Reds beat the Tigers 11-1.
My God. Ellie De La Cruz had a tremendous defensive play early in that game. He threw a 98-mile-an-hour strike on a relay to nail a guy at home. I mean,
that's not surprising.
Ellie's going to be a terrific Yankee one day.
Oh, God. Tyler Stevenson hit a grand slam for the Reds today. They had a 6-run 5th inning that keyed the victory. Cubs beat the Pirates 2-1, so they stay atop the NL Central. White Sox lead the Rangers 2-1 as they go to the bottom of the 7th. Also in the 7th, Blue Jays and Phillies tied at 2. Orioles lead the Angels 6-4 in the 7th. Rays lead the Mets 4-2 in the 4th. Twins and Astros tied at 2 in the 8th. Braves lead the Rockies 4-0 in the 7th. You see, the Braves last night were down 4-0, and then they won 12-4.
Wow.
I told because as I walked in from my thing last night, my father was telling me. I said that's all the Braves were getting killed. I said, let me tell you something. When you're playing now this is rich, being that my team actually lost to him the other night. But I said, when you're playing the Rockies, you're never out of a game. Athletics lead the Royals 4-0. No word about if there was an electric play of the week nominee in that game. Cardinals lead the Brewers 7-4 in the 6th. Later tonight, San Diego at Arizona, Yankees, Red Sox, Cleveland, Seattle, and Giants, Dodgers. Giants won last night. They're now tied for first place with the evil blue empire of Los Angeles. So enjoy that while it lasts. Also, we got the Stanley Cup game number 5 tonight. And earlier today at the Gennaro Gattuso has been named the new Italy coach. I believe you got the Club World Cup starting tonight. Al Ali against Inter Miami, which is going to be played in front of about as many people as that it's into Miami Hurricanes home game against Ball State. You can tell FIFA really has no control of this because they were offering free student tickets to college students. I'm like, Miami students don't show up to Miami football games. You think they're going to show up for this? Lord have mercy. There's the slide of the day for that. I know Josh is there thinking, what in the world is he telling these stupid jokes for? And earlier today at the College World Series, UCLA beat Murray State 6-4. UCLA beat Murray State 6-4 at the College World Series. And then tonight, a special event tonight in Omaha, Nebraska, Matthew. I don't know if you're aware. The largest gathering of drunk idiot rednecks in one locale as LSU and Arkansas play in the nightcap of the College World Series. I can't wait to see what stupid way LSU is going to win that game by 1 run because Arkansas always finds a way to lose crazy games in the World Series. And Mr. Magic Man Mike Monaco is on the call. I want to call him Magic Mike, but that might not be a good thing, being what Magic Mike is. What else we got here? We told you earlier about Caitlin Clark's triumphant return to the WNBA. I bet the ratings magically go up for this again. What do you say? Anything? Is there anything else I'm missing? Is there any tennis out there? Quidditch? Cricket?
Quidditch, yeah. I got the Quidditch app going on the phone here. JT, real quick, before we go to the restart, we won't go full hot lap here, but do you want to give us an update on Le Mans, since you're, doing the Le Mans broadcast? That might have been a no.
Everyone, welcome along. This is live, dual live and across 3 places right now. USRN, JB Motorsports Web stream, and JB Motorsports NASCAR stream. So at the moment, it might be a good idea if I actually get what the timing screens are. So thank you very much, Matthew, for throwing this on to me with no notice at all. But it's been a calm...
Yeah, you're very welcome.
It's been calm, but we've had 3 wide for the lead in hypercar down to Indianapolis, and they didn't crash. We had a Porsche Penske. Was it Porsche Penske or was it Toyota? It was one of the two. I think it was Toyota. Yes, it was the number 7. Going around a roundabout. That happened. The right way roundabout as well as. Don't you just love the way that Discovery Plus app is loaded, where you have to go to other stuff? Anyway, here is the leaderboard page, and I can tell you now once it loads.
You guys have it on Discovery Plus. Over here, we have it on Max through TNT Sports.
Yes, we are also TNT here. But
Brian Anderson on the call of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, don't you know?
Yeah, but
Brian Anderson and Kevin Harlan.
It is currently
God.
a Ferrari 123 with the 50, 51, and the 83 AF Corsa. In LMP2, it is the 48, the 9, and the 43, with Pro-Am being led by the 199 Spike the Dragon, currently in 4th overall. Page 2 of the timing screen is currently GT3 leader is the 46 Team WRT, not with Rossi behind the wheel at the moment, but will be behind
with
the wheel
who?
later on. With the number 92 in 2nd, and 3rd, the Vista AF Corsa number 21. That was your hourly update across millions and millions of streams. Back to you, JB, and back to you, Matthew Owens.
Wow, boy, he's really a jack of all trades and master of many.
Heavens to Betsy. Oh,
he really is becoming my favorite member of the team, which is really saying something considering Matthew's my best friend. Or one of them.
I should not be anyone's favorite anything to begin that conversation.
That's a predict. I was going to say that was a predictable response.
This caution, good God, longer than usual because they had to clean up pit road from all the oil.
That's great. That's great for us. That's just brilliant for us. That gives us more time to be stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Great in bold and italics. JT,
Josh, have you trademarked your famous saying? Have you trademarked your famous saying yet? Because I feel like it might be coming out of your mouth at any minute.
You could say, guys, that being awake since 2 p.m. our time in VST, it's currently 11:15, and then we've still got another 15 hours and 45 minutes. Then we've got NASCAR. Then we've got F1, and then we've got IndyCar. Staying up for all of that, you could also say that is pretty stupid.
God bless America. Are we doubled up yet? No.
Doesn't look like it.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh, maybe we are. Perhaps.
An absolutely iconic piece of commentary just then.
Doubled up.
We are not doubled up. Oh, heavens.
We are not. We thought we were doubled up, but indeed we are not.
They're running double file under caution, but yet we haven't gone through the choose. What are you doing? Holy smokes. What a lengthy yellow this has been. So, JT, can I ask, who all on your end is doing the IndyCar race tomorrow night?
I don't know. Shall I ask him?
Well, no, you don't have to bother him.
JB.
I was just...
Who is doing IndyCar this weekend?
Box.
Apparently, and this will be news to you, and it's news to me, it's you and JB.
Oh, it is it?
Yes, apparently. But apparently, I'm not a part of that. But okay.
I don't think I was sent that assignment in my contract.
Well,
then again.
Wow, Matt, that tells you how this might be a sign we're doing too much. You're doing too much, Matthew. When the founder of the network doesn't even know what race he's doing in his contract. Because Matthew, didn't you one day wear your Reds hat? But hey, real quick, Matthew, didn't you say? Isn't there a specific note in your contract? I am a Reds fan and hate hot weather. Thou shalt not let me broadcast from St. Louis ever.
Perhaps, yes. I may have written that clause in.
Or the E and EP, the Wicked Witch of the Midwest, lives up there too. But you know.
Okay. Thank God, great timing to get doubled up.
Oh my God, they did the thing.
By God, he's a moon car winner. By God.
Okay.
That's what he sounded like.
Anyway, I will mute my mic before we go crazy. Back to you to a hopefully sane Matthew Owens.
I wouldn't bet on that.
Let's try to regain our composure. We're going to go green with 19 laps to go here in Mexico City. Connor Zilich and Ty Gibbs, the two cars that have dominated the day here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, will start on the front row. Row 2 will be Minnesota's William Sawalich alongside Daniel Suarez. Sam Mayer will be in row 3 with Carson Quaffle. And it will be 19 to go in regulation in the Chilango 150 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Behind the Chevrolet Corvette pace car, there's 3 pace cars this weekend. There's a Chevrolet pace car, a Toyota, and a Ford for all 3 manufacturers to be represented this weekend in Mexico. It's the Corvette pace car out there now, bringing the field to the end of the Recta del Ovalo and into the Foro Sol. And this is going to be a massive restart. As we said, pit stops are done, at least under green. If we get another caution, maybe guys pit, maybe they don't. But this is a sprint to the finish, 19 laps. And the restart may decide a lot of it. Daniel Suarez, remember, went from 6th to 3rd on the last restart. He is on row 2. Connor Zilich, the control car, to driver's right, into the restart zone. They come. The green flag waves. Down the Recta Principale they come. The final stage in Mexico City is underway. Connor Zilich and Ty Gibbs on the front row, stride for stride with each other. Now Gibbs pokes his nose out in front. Daniel Suarez, is he boxed in? No. Flares to the outside of Ty Gibbs, and Seth going to the Solana S. They're going to stack it up 3 wide, 4 in the lead. The crowd going crazy as Connor Zilich gets turned, and Daniel Suarez comes out with the lead. A roar from the grandstand comes out.
Quapple gets hit by Gibbs. Quapple spins off of Gibbs. Sam Mayer has had a collision. Cars kicking a big rooster tail. Parker Retzloff is running to Quapple. Gibbs is still sideways. The caution's out. We have one grande of a mess.
We said the restart was going to be crucial, and it certainly was.
We have one grande mess, not grande of a mess, you idiot. But anyway, Parker Retzloff, you mentioned him having no luck. That continues, and we talked about potential chaos on the last restart, and there it was.
We knew the restart was going to be massive. Zilich, Gibbs, and Suarez knew how important it was to come out of the Solana S with the lead. They all went for it. And the 2 dominant cars of the day, Gibbs and Zilich, are tore up. Zilich hopped the curb at turn 1, got spun around the nose of Sawalich. Then Suarez got into turn 2 with the lead. Then Gibbs at turn 3 runs into Quaffle. And it was a quaffle of a mess behind, as no one had anywhere to... Oh, my Lord. Parker Retzloff just pile drives into the back of Ty Gibbs.
Matthew Owens.
Yes.
Did anyone not learn from going 3 wide in the F1 days in towards turn 1?
I think we can be very confident in saying none of these drivers in this race have watched Formula One.
I mean, probably, but 3 wide throughout the whole pack going in towards turn 1 at Mexico, a double chicane, and they thought it was a good idea. And I am going to throw it to Seth to say the trademark word.
I don't know what that.
Oh, he doesn't know what the trademark word is, JT.
Oh,
now
I got it. Chaos.
No. I mean, as a person who lives in the England and goes to some football and watches some football, and only British people will get this, but Seth, that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Okay.
Okay, embarrassing.
I thought the word was chaos myself, but hey ho. What are you gonna be like? What are you gonna be like tomorrow?
You know what Josh sounded like when he said that? Josh sounded like he was a Jersey Shore member. One of those Guidos on there that was like, "Yo," that's what he said. We said like, "Stupid." That's what he sounded like. Yo, Josh Diddy, baby. Yo, Josh, the situation.
Okay, calm down. Enough out of you.
Josh, the situation. Where's Snooki?
And there is a point in every single USM broadcast where Seffies loses the will to live. We have now reached that, and we have gone far, far, far deep into the lost the will to live.
Most appreciative.
The crowd absolutely loving seeing their boy, Monterrey, Mexico's Daniel Suarez, go to the lead, surviving the chaos of the restart. The bad news for them is he's got to survive at least one more.
By the way, back to Wide World Sports real quick. England are out of the World Cup of Darts.
Oh.
The English team of Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys got beat 8-4 by Germany in the last 16s.
Oh, they lost to Germany. Who could have seen that coming?
The only surprise is that they didn't lose it in the darts equivalent of a penalty shootout.
It was.
What is that? Is that a shootout with a dart without feathers? a feather off.
it was the Baller League UK Finals night, which is making its way over to America, so watch out for it, Matthew and Seth. But
well, it's a heck of a lot better than that other sport, field
Yes.
hockey, when it's a stroke.
Well, yeah, you know what? You are correct about that. Well, it can't both be true. It doesn't have to be a mutually exclusive thing.
at the Baller League UK Finals night, they had a Team UK versus Team Germany match. Germany won it 10-1, and I don't want to talk about it. What?
Well, you were the only one that knew about it, so you brought it up. So I mean,
so yeah, you'd have been just fine if you'd have not mentioned anything about it.
Also, they had a Legends versus Creators match, and
Legends versus Creators.
yes, as known as Soccer Legends versus Creators. And
You love saying soccer.
stuff
You love
like that.
saying Soccer.
But how well do you know your Soccer Legends, Matthew?
You might be better served to ask me the question. But
I
anyway,
don't
go
know.
ahead.
If they're asking the people that soccer legends that play darts, I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, they had Mario Balotelli,
Oh yes, of course.
JJ Okocha, and Musa Dembele playing in that game.
Wow.
So,
JJ Okocha, he was so good they named him twice. That was the chant for the Bolton fans when he played there.
And a couple of others. But referee in that match, Mark Clattenburg, from the world of refereeing.
Really?
Wow.
And guess who walked out with the Legends and Creators and started the game? Will Smith just randomly turned up.
Huh?
What?
And when I mean Will Smith randomly turned up, he randomly turned up.
You mean the one for the Dodgers?
Josh probably don't know what just like Will Smith is. Josh probably doesn't know what the Dodgers is.
Now, Josh, did you know?
It's the US version of dodgeball, isn't it?
Now, JT,
not quite.
Thank you very much. Did you know, JT, when Will Smith lost his mind a couple of years ago at the Oscars, that USRN microphones were there?
Shut up!
Yes, they were.
Shut up!
Now
you are not bringing that up.
Now, does anyone know how JJ Okocha got the name JJ? Because that was not his given name.
J-A-Y.
Yeah, that was not his given name.
Excuse me. I should have said shut up. I should have said Kai Arce La Boca.
Augustine was JJ Okocha's given name.
Yeah, I would have gone by JJ too.
I would go by Augusta. I don't know if I'd go by Augustine.
Go by Augustana because they got a great acrobatics and tumbling program.
No, only Augusta, not Augustine, Augustana. No, I'm good.
No, I'm telling you, Augustana is one I could deal with because they have a great acrobatics and tumbling program.
Well, I'm proud of Augustana then.
Oh man, you're a a-hole sometimes. I love you still, but you know. That's actually part of why I love you, to be perfectly honest.
I'm good with anybody that has a good acrobatics and tumbling program. By the way, Cup drivers in the Xfinity booth on the CW over the next few weeks. Ryan Blaney at Pocono.
Nice.
Kyle Busch in Atlanta. AJ Allman at Echo Park. AJ Allmendinger at Chicago. Christopher Bell at New Hampshire.
Shire.
Adam Scott just birdied at 13 to tie Hovland for third and be 2 off the lead.
Now, you want to tell me from a handful of years ago that it would be Seth during a race broadcast giving golf updates. Let's go to Carla Metz. She'll be shocked about that, too.
For any culture, but the taco at the top of the pyramid here in Mexico, I was given the brief rundown here of tacos atarantado. I had to practice saying that restaurant name, but yeah, it's a taco bar, and it is a lot different. Apparently, the tacos in Mexico City are apparently considered street food, but this one is based out of Monterrey, Mexico, where it's really a work of art. You can see they're working on the trompo back there with cooking black pork, and I haven't tasted it yet, Adam, but I can tell you it smells phenomenal. There's been a line constantly all day, and they're resetting all of their ingredients right now to welcome some more fans here.
You didn't use your TV privileges to cut the line, did you, Carla? Please tell me no.
I didn't, but I probably should have.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Carla.
Matthew.
Oh, God. I was going to say, Lord help me from making this into a Bob Greasy moment.
No, you won't.
At least we are in Mexico, though.
For heaven's sakes.
But yeah.
Please get doubled up.
Mr. Oracle, Matthew.
Yes.
Going back to Baller League UK. Oh, never mind. Here's the replay. That first.
Oh, we've already seen the replay 17 times. Carry on.
Okay. Well, the penalties that they take at Baller League, you might like hearing this. They do at the old school MLS penalty shootouts.
Ooh. Okay.
And they have a game changer, and one of that is for the final 3 minutes of the game. They have constant 3 minutes of MLS penalty shootouts, 15 seconds per teams, and it just flip-flops for the full 3 minutes. That is how Germany went from 6-1 to 10-1 in 3 minutes.
Oh.
Wow. That
All
goal
right.
rush? Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and we still did not double up.
Yeah, they were on the Autobahn on that goal rush.
Anyway, thoughts on Atlanta's rebranding?
That's dumb. Any more questions?
Oh,
See,
you two don't realize how much you complete my life with the humor that you give.
See, this is what Seth. This is what Seth lives for. He doesn't. He's not here to do the races. He's just here to hear stupidity.
Why can't it be both? We are in Mexico. Why not that taco commercial, Jeff? Why not both? Vamos, Matthew.
Matthew?
I haven't vamosed anywhere in years. Anyway, carry on.
I'm disappointed in you, Matthew Owens.
Well, many people have been for the last 28 years, but tell me why.
You've not been speaking Spanish that much today.
See, there was a belief by a lot of people that I would, but I didn't commit to anything.
I guess we just assumed the way you were talking in Spanish for the first handful of races of the season. We thought it was going to be an extravaganza. Heck, there was one point this season where I legit thought we were going to be doing the whole race in Spanish.
Now you know me too good and hell well to know that we're going to do that.
Oh, you've seen weeks to look at Rosetta Stone. I mean, then again, I had it for 2 years and couldn't figure Spanish out, so I don't know.
Thank you, Rosetta Stone.
Then muchachos de aprendidas. Hey, you have been working on it, haven't you?
Fine. Welcome to UASCRANA Deportes. Is everybody happy now?
No.
Yes.
I'm not happy. Are we still not doubled up yet?
No. They have not given the double up flag. They've given the black flag.
Oh, thank you. Real quick, I'm gonna pull a Barkley here. I want to make an apology.
It's fine. We had a slow car in Le Mans, so there were white flags flying around Le Mans.
You gonna let me make my freaking apology?
Carry on. Who do you have to apologize to?
I want to halfway apologize for using the term "wicked witch of the Midwest" to describe somebody a minute ago. I want to half apologize for that.
Stop trying to make me laugh when I'm drinking. Please and thank you.
So Matthew does that to me all the time, so I have no sympathy for people who do that, honestly. I'm sorry, but... Because you know what? I had Busch Light last night.
It's a real crime against humanity that this has been on JBM airwaves. I apologize to all of you listening.
And and thank you to the 36 people who have consistently stuck with us.
Comments. How stupid are the people on this network? Is that what the comments are saying?
We are finally doubled up. Hey. And here we go. The sun pokes out at the
ready to go yellow again. It's Mexico, turn 1.
Yeah, you're right. Daniel Suarez on the front row, now joined by Christian Eckes. Taylor Gray and Harrison Burton in row 2. Can Suarez hold on to the lead for a memorable Mexican moment here, Seth? We know that the restart's going to be wild again. Here we come to the green flag.
Here we go indeed. Green flag in the air. 14 laps to go. Suarez gets a good jump on Christian Eckes. Eckes, though, fights back, wanting to be the villain this afternoon, perhaps. Harrison Burton and Taylor Gray are back there. And Suarez and Eckes side by side on the approach to turn 1. And Suarez is going to clear him. Eckes to second. Gray to third. They're stacking it up at fourth on back. Nick Sanchez trying to elbow his way through, but he'll lose a spot to Harrison Burton and Williams. Wallett's trying to fight back, as well as Brandon Jones. 4 wide almost on the back stretch as Eckes tries to regain lost ground on Suarez.
To the curve of NASCAR, Daniel Suarez has been able to avoid his first bullet. He gets through the restart cleanly and holds on to the lead. Here comes Suarez out of the corner. Back through the S's. Suarez leads from Eckes, Burton, Gray, Jones. That's the top 5. Dean Thompson through the S's, trying to make up a spot on Brandon Jones. He has, but Suarez leads to turn 10.
Suarez does indeed lead heading to turn number 10. And we got cars all off the track all over the place here. And Dean Thompson trying to cut in front of Brandon Jones back there. I think Jones took some umbrage with that. Here is Jeb Burton. Now Sammy Smith trying to work his way around. Daniel Dye in that beautiful white and purple number 10 car trying to make some moves late in the race.
Now, okay, 13 laps to go. That's a long way still to go here. There is a ton of time still left in this race. But from what we've seen today, with 195 turns left, Seth, are we 195 turns away from what would have to be one of the greatest moments in Mexican motorsport history? This could lead to a track storming a la Monza or Le Mans.
Yeah, it could be. But I think if you're a Daniel Suarez fan or you know his career, you know that you don't want to count any chickens before they hatch. Meanwhile, Eckes feeling the heat, Matt. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Eckes is feeling the heat for second.
Yeah, absolutely. In the S's, Taylor Gray, underneath the spoiler of Christian Eckes. So again, just to reiterate what we've talked about all day long, there were 4 cars in this race that seemed to be head and shoulders above the rest of the field. One of them, Christopher Bell, blew an engine at the end of stage 2. 2 of them, Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilisch, crashed into each other in the last restart. The remaining of those 4, the only one left of those 4 without damage is Daniel Suarez. And as he comes to complete this off the restart, Suarez leads by 2 seconds on Eckes and Gray. Daniel Suarez could be in line. He has won an Xfinity Series championship. He's won twice in the Cup Series. If he can hold on for a dozen more laps, I think he would call this the biggest win of his life.
Yeah. You could see, he was full of emotion. You could almost see tears coming through the helmet when he won that Grand National Championship. I can't imagine what they're going to be like if he holds on here for 11 more laps. And I'm just going to say there's probably going to be some bribing going on to make sure he has no issues in inspection.
Whoop. Here's Gray at curve of NASCAR. Now maybe this is the last remaining car that has a chance to actually fight Suarez. Gray looks really good, and in turn 4, he muscles his way around Christian Eckes. That is a Joe Gibbs racing car that Taylor Gray from not Mexico, but from New Mexico rides. Could he take the fight to Suarez? He's 2 seconds back.
He's got some time. He's got some ground to make up, but he does have some time to make up. Real quick, rest of the top runners. Austin Hill just passed Nick Sanchez to grab 4th. Wallace is 6th. Then it's Harrison Burton, Brandon Jones, Dean Thompson, and Sammy Smith, your top 10. As they head through the stadium section, Jesse Love and Sammy Smith, boy, those two have been like magnets today. And Connor Zilich is back there, too.
Yeah, by the way, Zilich is still going, despite all the damage that he suffered on that last crash on the restart. He's moved up to 12th. So Zilich still... But by the way, where has Austin Hill come up from to come in 4th here? He was nearly a lap down at the end of the 2nd stage with a flat tire. He's rebounded to 4th. My goodness, what a day from Austin Hill. But yeah, Zilich is still on the prowl here, Seth. Jesse Love wheel hops just in front of him going into the Solana S. I don't know. If Zilich could get one more caution, maybe he could still be in contention. But he's not going to run down Suarez with that with just 11 laps to go.
Right. In fact, he's still outside the top 10 for what it's worth. Past Jesse Love, but that's only for the 11th position as Connor Zilich trying to work his way through. Daniel Suarez with a 2-second lead over Taylor Gray. They work through the S's, the Black Quaker State number 9, looking for a monumental day in Mexican racing history. But I'll tell you what, Matthew, you might be onto something. That 54 looks like he's closing a little bit.
That lead is shrinking. It's 1.7 seconds through the stadium section where the crowd rises one more time. These fans all around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is trying to physically will this black number 9 into victory lane. He exits the Peraltada, and when he crosses the line, he's got 10 laps to go. Rough stuff in turn 15 at 12th position. Jesse Love runs into Sammy Smith. Connor Zilich has just gotten around that group to move into the 10th position.
Yeah, Jeb Burton's back there too, and that Daniel Dye a little further back. So this could be this could get a little dicey here again, as we mentioned. Love and Smith, seem like they found each other all day. See Love in front. Oh, brakes! Oh, heavy brake smoke from the Love machine at the front. The lead at the line last time, 1.5 seconds. Suarez over Gray. Meanwhile, Hill is stalking Eckes for 3rd.
And, of course, if Austin Hill gets to 3rd, then we absolutely know how the race is going to finish. Gray and Suarez will wipe each other out on the last lap, and Hill will get through to win that way. Here is Hill stalking Eckes for the 3rd position in the S's, going into turn number 9. Through 8 and 9, I beg your pardon. Here's turn 9 to the left. They'll sling the cars wide to driver's right and head down the Recta di Ovalo. Heading towards turn 10. Hill has a run on Eckes, under braking. Is he going to peek out to try to make the pass this time, Seth? He tries, slings it wide to try to get the inside line for turn 11.
It worked. It worked for him. That was a brilliant maneuver by Austin Hill. Fantastic. And now he slides through the S's there. Slides through the curbs to get past Eckes. So move Austin Hill to 3rd, Eckes back to 4th, and Sanchez in 5th.
The gap at the front grew by 0.3 seconds for our race leader, Daniel Suarez, that last lap. It went from 1.5 seconds to 1 8/10 seconds. If he can keep that kind of gap between himself and Gray, he should be good. But still, there are 9 laps to go, and we don't know really how fast this 21 car of Austin Hill is, Seth, because we haven't seen him at the front all day. We did see him with a flat tire nearly go a lap down. Was able to pick his way through the carnage of the last restart. But how fast that 21 car is, we really don't know. What about Connor Zilich here? Down the Recta Trancera, in towards curve of NASCAR. He's going to make another pass, Seth. This is for 7th.
It's by Harrison Burton to take that position. So Connor Zilic on the move. That beaten, battered, and bruised 88. That might actually be for 8th, Matthew, because Brandon Jones is ahead of it. I think that's for 8th. Could be wrong,
right.
though.
You're right. That's 8th.
And you're right. Words in reference to something I said. That doesn't often happen on this network, but, you know, it's a day of miracles, I suppose. Suarez, by the way, did pick up 3/10 last lap. He leads Gray by nearly 2 full seconds. Oh, Nick Sanchez locking it up. Jesse Love and Dean Thompson.
When they come across the line this time, I want to see the margins here, because we should see this lap if Austin Hill has anything for those top 2 or not, being that he finally got around Eckes and got some clean air on the nose. The answer to that is no. He did not take any margin out from the lead 2, but Taylor Gray did take another 4/10 off the Suarez lead. So that lead for Suarez is yo-yoing back and forth. It's 1.4 seconds. Dean Thompson at 10th, trying to defend from Jesse Love, Sammy Smith, and others behind on the way to the Solana S. Love dives it down the inside of Thompson and makes the pass. Now Smith wedges his way between the 2 cars as Love goes off the course at turn 3.
It might have been a little retaliatory for that spin earlier. You know, I don't know if that was completely Love's fault. Keep a camera on this, by the way, because I don't think this is over.
Good. That because and Love drives Smith off the track at curve of NASCAR. He drives Sammy Smith into the grass. Jesse Love using car number 8 for brakes in turn 4.
Yeah, couldn't see that coming, could you?
CW didn't see it.
Exactly.
Well, they did. Actually, it was Now Sport that didn't see it.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, Connor Zilic, I'm telling you, oh my goodness. He only needs one more caution and he could still win this race, Harry Gant style. He is charged up to Brandon Jones in the stadium section. Here they are at the Peraltada, Seth. This is the fight for 7th. The problem for Connor is it's 8 seconds off the lead.
Only time only on USRN do you hear Connor Zilic, Harry Gant, and the Mexico road course in the same pitch. Jesse Gibbs, there's his caution. There's the caution that Suarez was dreading and Zilic was praying for.
Wow. Oh, no.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy. It had been a tough 2 miles for Jesse Love. He got roughed up at turn 3 and then again at turn 4 and now spins at 15 in the Peraltada. And the caution comes out to the vast disappointment of this massive crowd here in Mexico City. Oh, dear me. Connor Zilic is going to win this race.
I think he'd be he's the favorite again now, I have to say.
Matthew.
Oh, wow. Yes, JT, you are very low.
I don't know what's going on, but yes.
Oh,
hello.
now you're back. You're back at normal levels now.
I don't think Jesse will love that one.
No, and
Dean Thompson, I think, was one who hit him.
Yeah, and there won't be much love from the Mexican crowd for that one. Oh, my goodness. Well, 7 laps to go under caution. We will not quite be going to overtime, as long as this caution doesn't drag out for 6 laps, which it shouldn't. I don't think so. Surely none of the leaders will be hitting pit road. By the way, coming up on USRN tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, it's Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. We've had a shift. Everyone pay attention to this. We have had a logistical shift for that game. Jarek Rubel will be on the call for Game 5 tonight here on USRN, as we are close to 7 o'clock Eastern Time here, and we still have racing left here in Mexico. So, USRN tonight at 8, Game 5 between the Panthers and Oilers. Seth, remember at COTA, Connor Zilich had the dominant car that day too and got burned by an ill-timed caution. He was already committed to pit road, but he came to pit road before or right as the caution came out and had to start at the tail end of the field to serve that penalty for pitting on a closed pit road. And he rallied and got all the way back to the front to win that day in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, he even hit him with a Steph Curry celebration at the end. Which is a reminder, Monday night, the NBA is back, and I'll be back in the studio chair. I know you kind of missed me last night, which, by the way, after you, my God, I swear I saw a 45, 50-year-old you last night at the Freight Yard place.
What's sad about that is, well, how he looked.
I mean,
I wouldn't wish my looks on anybody.
The only difference, literally, between you and him was that he had a bit of like a salt and pepper beard was coming in. But I looked at him and I said, holy bleep, that's Matthew.
Have we had an ejection?
Matthew in about 10, 15 years.
Have we had an ejection in the Big Three? Have we just had a big fight and an injection in the Big Three?
Dwight Howard started it.
Oh, my Lord. We have had a fight and an ejection in the Big Three between Dwight Howard and Lance Stevenson.
Oh, of course.
How stupid. Oh, my God. The Big Three.
He said the thing.
That is...
Oh, dear.
Lance, I mean, it would be those two.
As we told you earlier this morning in qualifying, Daniel Suarez locked up in turn 10 and went fireball deep into the tire barrier, destroying his race car that he drives today for Junior Motorsports for this special race. Had to start last on the grid, 39th. Quickly climbed his way into the top half of the field, and then almost just as quickly got into the top 5, and then a couple of restarts ago was able to grab the lead and avoid the chaos between Ty Gibbs, Connor Zilich, and others to get the lead. And he had opened up a lead of a second and a half on Taylor Gray until Jesse Love got turned around in the Peraltada just moments ago. The caution comes out, and now Suarez will have to survive another restart. Seth, I don't know who's going to be more aggressive on this restart. Zilich at 8th or Austin Hill at 3rd. This is just setting up for Austin Hill to win.
You know, I'm afraid you're right.
By the way, give a call to Austin Green. What a drive back from him today. He started 14th. Really good qualifying effort for him. He is a really experienced road course racer. Started 14th, but had to pit under the first caution and immediately fell back to 35th on the first restart of the day. And he has spent all day, Seth, climbing his way back up the running order, and Green runs in 12th. If he can avoid the restart chaos, he could be in for a really good finish today.
Absolutely, and he's a pretty good road racer.
Yeah.
He's this when you hear, and he won an ARCA race at Charlotte about a couple weeks ago. But you hear him say, when you hear someone say Austin Green, son of David, you would think, probably a grassroots short track racer in the South. Well, no, he went the road course route to develop.
Yeah, absolutely. Did not play on Beverly Hills 90210. Austin Green. No.
Well done out of you. Well done. Well done. Burns at 4 under now has sole possession of the lead. Spawn at 3 under. Scott at 2. Hovland -1. Ortiz shot a 67. He's finished for the day at even. And yes, it is very weird that I'm the one that I'm giving golf updates during the race.
Yes.
A lot can happen over 8 years, can it?
I'm sure there's plenty of people that's saying we still have time for leaderboard gravity to take effect, but I don't think we're going to have that. I think this is the leaderboard.
Yeah, Burns, Spahn, Scott, and Hovland, they've all finished. They're all at 15 now. They've all finished. They've all completed 14. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, these are going to be the 5. I think that will settle it tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I am nervous. I don't have a dog in the fight. I am nervous, and I think
that's me every time we get a late restart on these Mixler airwaves. So
and I think the entire country right now is feeling these nerves. Daniel Suarez, in front of his adoring home nation crowd, leads coming to a restart with 4 to go. This 3/4 of a mile long main straightaway leading into a 90-degree right-handed turn has already created plenty of restart chaos for us today. Are we going to get more? Taylor Gray is going for his first career win. So too is Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, and William Sawalich, all restarting in the first 3 rows. Connor Zilic has been beaten up and bruised, but he's still in the mix. He'll restart 8th. Austin Hill has been a magician at stealing wins. He's in row 2, but they're all led to the green flag by Daniel Suarez. 4 laps to go at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and Suarez gets a good jump on the restart. He is ahead of Taylor Gray. Austin Hill fades back. Connor Zilic wedges his way between 2 cars. Zilic has already passed 1 car. He's already passed 2 cars. He's alongside Hill. Between Hill and Eckes going to turn 1. Suarez gets to the Solano S in front. Taylor Gray runs into Suarez, punts him off into the grass. Suarez recovers. Back on the track, he's the leader. Here comes Gray on the run to turn 4 set, trying to steal it away.
Taylor Gray doesn't care about being public enemy number 1 in Mexico. Smoke from Nick Sanchez's car. Suarez, though, stays in front of Gray. A hard drive by Suarez. Meanwhile, Eckes and Hill battle for 3rd. Zilic stuck at 5th. Gray's coming back, though, eating up the bumper of that number 9 Quaker State car. It's Suarez over Taylor Gray as they fight through the S's. Suarez by about a car length, maybe less than that, with 4 to go. Daniel Suarez, your leader.
Daniel's going to have to get running because Taylor Gray is desperate and that car is good. Into the stadium section. Daniel Suarez trying to get away from Taylor Gray. Connor Zilic has not gained as many spots as we thought he might on the restart. He is up to 5th. Still has traffic to deal with. Ryan C. gets spun at turn 10. He gets it back going. We stay green. Suarez sweeps up out of the Peraltada and comes to the line to the roar of a gigantic crowd here in Mexico, 3 laps away from perhaps the biggest win of his life.
He has the lead. You got a lot of cars smoking. Sanchez still has a boatload of smoke from the left front. NASCAR might have to intervene on that because that is a lot of smoke as Brandon Jones elbows his way past Sanchez. So it's Jones and Sanchez still making contact. Jones will finally get clear. Austin Green and William Sawalich are also in that little kerfuffle. But at the front, it's Daniel Suarez at Taylor Gray. Zilic got by Hill. Now he's setting his sights on Eckes to grab the number 3 position. And Gray is not letting Suarez get away.
Curve of NASCAR is where Zilic made that pass on Hill to take over 4th. Now he slithers through the S's, breaks to driver's right on Christian Eckes, gets the for turn 8. Might have taken it too deep into turn 8, though, Zilic. Eckes comes right back around the outside of him. Now it invites Austin Hill to go to driver's left. Eckes holds on to 3rd. Hill has a nose in front of Zilic for 4th, going to 10. Zilic is going to stuff it in hard. The crowd losing their minds as Daniel Suarez comes through the stadium section one more time as the leader.
Suarez still the leader. Meanwhile, Zilic is getting roughed up. Brandon Jones now all over the back of that 88 car now. Connor Zilic in the 88 ahead of Brandon Jones as they come by the main straightaway. We are on the penultimate lap. Daniel Suarez keeps a healthy lead over Taylor Gray. Suarez's fans, family, watching on, hoping for this magical moment. His wife, Julia, just with a patient look on her face. You know her heart's got to be beating about as fast as Suarez. You think Suarez is crazy? Hers is biggest. Brandon Jones has spun out. Brandon Jones spins. Will he get the car refired? He's got to wait because there's a lot of traffic. Brandon Jones in the final laps, losing a ton of spots after a spin. Gray is not letting Suarez run away and hide.
He's not giving Daniel any room to breathe here comfortably. They clear turn 4 now through the S's. Daniel, his wife Julia Piquet, the daughter, of course, of Formula One world champion Nelson Piquet. She knows how big of a win this would be for Daniel, who sweeps up out of turn 9. And as he comes to the stadium section, the white flag is waiting in just a matter of moments. Daniel is just praying he can get to that white flag without a yellow flag being displayed. Through the stadium section one more time. An unbelievable atmosphere in Mexico City, but it's not over yet because Taylor Gray is bearing down on him. Here's Daniel Suarez out of the Peraltada. The white flag waves, and the final lap is underway in Mexico City. Can Daniel Suarez hang on for an enormous win? He's 2.4 miles away.
Has to hit his marks and then hold Taylor Gray off down this long front straightaway. He'll make the approach to turn 1. Suarez keeps the lead. Gray right behind him. Oh, Gray slid it a little bit there. Keeps the throttle in it, though. The gap about a car length. Suarez to Gray. Gray sliding it sideways again off the course. Heading down the second straightaway. It is Suarez over Gray. Again, Suarez just trying to keep it as smooth as he possibly can. Gray, you know he's going to be desperate. How desperate, though? Does he want to feel the wrath of this crowd if he wins the race? That might be something to consider. We heard what Ryan Blaney said earlier in the week. But it's Daniel Suarez at the front of this field. Taylor Gray, though, is going to make him work for it, Matthew Owens.
They clear the S's for the final time. Suarez out of turn 9. His lead at just 2 car lengths. Gray, turn 10 might be his last chance to make a dive bomb. Everyone on their feet, jumping and screaming and hollering. Phones in the air as Mexican racing fans look to capture this magical moment. Suarez through the stadium section. Here comes Taylor Gray deep into the final corner. He can't get to Suarez's bumper. And out of the Peraltada for the last time. The stars have aligned perfectly for this magical Mexican motorsports miracle. Daniel Suarez wins in Mexico City. Daniel Suarez has won in front of his home crowd at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. A magical moment in NASCAR's return to Mexico.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable drive.
That is awesome. That is awesome. There won't be a soul here that isn't happy for Daniel Suarez. And Seth, his Cup Series teammate Ross Chastain is in the CW booth. What did Ross Chastain do a couple of weeks ago in Charlotte? What did Daniel Suarez just do? He went from worst to first.
This sport writes it right. Boy, this sport over the years has a knack, Matthew, of writing a hell of good stories, doesn't it?
Mexico flags waving everywhere. This is awesome.
I mean, this sport has a way of coming up with weird anomalies that are repeated. So you know what I'm trying to say. It has a weird way of aligning. There we go. As you said, the stars aligning. It has a weird way of aligning it. And I mean, this is pretty cool. Even if you're like, there are people, myself and others, that are like this. But even if you're one of those guys that isn't a big fan of the Cup guys racing in the Xfinity Series, you can't deny this is a pretty cool moment right here watching Daniel Suarez win in front of his home crowd.
As we said, he's won an Xfinity Series championship. He's won twice in the NASCAR Cup Series. When he gets out of his car, he very well may say that this is the biggest moment of his racing life. And perhaps it could only be topped if he wins tomorrow on this very circuit in the Cup Series.
Let me just say it, Matthew. you think this crowd atmosphere and celebration is big today? Help us all if he wins tomorrow.
Wow. Just did a celebration in front of the throngs of people inside the stadium section at Foro Sol. Now he'll drive on all the way to this 3/4 of a mile front straightaway, the main stretch known as Recta Principale. And he's going to get a chance to talk to his people here in the celebration of victory. Will he do the interview in Spanish? At least partly in Spanish. Here he goes again now on the Recta Principale into another smoky burnout. Well, as we said, the stars just aligned perfectly for this to happen, Seth, because I don't think he had anything for Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, or Connor Zilisch. He was very good. He was the 4th best car here today, but he wasn't going to beat those other 3. Bell blew up. Gibbs and Zilisch crashed into each other on a restart. Daniel was there to pick up the pieces. And for Daniel Suarez, and how about that at the end? Mexico versus New Mexico for the win. And Taylor Gray gave it his all into the Peraltada. And I suppose he made the decision that he was ready to take the brunt of whatever he would get had he wiped out Suarez in that final corner, because he dove it in there. Austin Hill and Taylor Gray have stopped in the stadium section. They're going to do a bit of a podium-esque kind of celebration with the top 3 finishers. That is, if Daniel ever gets out of his car. He's just burned it down again. Now he's climbing out. Listen to this.
He stays on top. And here he is, celebrating with a home crowd.
The crowd, unbelievable over here. I wish you could have heard him on the last lap. As a young boy growing up in Mexico who worked so hard to get to the United States and make it to the top level of racing, what does it mean to you to come back here and do this in front of these people?
¿Les gustó? ¿Se la pasaron bien? ¡Eso! ¡Viva México, cabrones!
Wife Julia. Nothing about this day was easy, right? It started this morning. You got damage. I know the brakes weren't exactly what you wanted still. How did you stay focused on the task at hand all day today and ultimately survive that last restart too and get it done?
Yeah, man, it's everything about teamwork. You know, like these guys work extremely hard to get this car ready. And, you know, the car wasn't supposed to be a winner today. And look at where we are right now. You know, I can thank enough Quaker State, Junior Motorsports, and all the people that work very, very hard for us to be here this afternoon. It's been a special day, and I can't wait to enjoy it for a little bit and then do it again tomorrow. Oh,
there's the piñata. We got to do this. One last thing, Daniel, and then you can celebrate. Is this as cool as you dreamed of it being?
It's just very special, man. It's very, very special to be here in front of my people. You know, all these people that they have supported me for many, many years. They have loved me since my NASCAR Mexico days, and now fighting with the big boys. It feels good.
Congratulations. Daniel Suarez, a winner in Mexico City.
It's never easy to make it to the top levels of NASCAR. And the challenge is for Daniel Suarez more than most.
Yeah.
but he's climbed every mountain. And
he has. And Seth, we've sat here and covered, goodness gracious, just about Daniel Suarez's entire NASCAR career, at least NASCAR top tier series career. He's dealt with a lot.
Yeah.
He's dealt with a lot. And he has never wavered from just keeping on the climb. Just
amazing.
I don't know how many people listening to us, especially if you're on JBM, I don't know how many people know what he's gone through and have followed his entire career, but Seth, he came up to the Xfinity Series and got a top-tier ride with Joe Gibbs Racing, and it took him so long to finally win. He finally got that win and then went on to win the Xfinity Series championship, and at that point you're thinking, he's just on a rocket ship to the moon. Carl Edwards just so suddenly and abruptly retires. Joe Gibbs has to scramble and make a decision on who to fill Carl Edwards' shoes with. It's going to be Suarez, who just won the Xfinity Series championship. But at that point, Seth, he was not ready to go full-time to the Cup Series. And the results in that 19 car with JGR showed that he wasn't ready. They cut ties with him, with many thinking, including yours truly, that he just wasn't given enough of a fair shot. He wasn't given enough time. And then had to stumble around in Cup Series rides that he was above, but he didn't turn down because he wanted to keep climbing and keep trying to live out his dream. Eventually gets the job with Trackhouse, wins in the Cup Series at Sonoma, wins last year in that 3-wide photo finish at Atlanta, has made the playoffs a couple of times. That just all feels like it's led to this moment, which is just awesome for him.
Yeah. Just an amazing moment for Daniel Suarez, and and like I said, I can't imagine what it's actually going to be like if he actually were to win this thing tomorrow. I mean, this would be, yeah. Like I said, I kind of doubted if we'd get the track storming for Xfinity. I think we'll get it for Cup. I mean, to quote the late Rod, to paraphrase from the late Rod Bramlett, they ain't going to keep him off the track tonight if he wins tomorrow. Oh my Lord.
I just feel so good for him. This is awesome person, great personality. And we talked at the top about, or we talked at some point today about how this race really wasn't supposed to happen. All signs pointed towards NASCAR's International Weekend this year being in Montreal. Talks with Montreal and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve broke down, and then they pivoted to Mexico. And Daniel Suarez has been trying really hard to get NASCAR in Mexico. And he pays it off this way. And again, not done. A race to go tomorrow. But that is just one hell of a moment that we just got to witness. I am so happy we were here to document this moment. That's awesome.
Very awesome.
For the rest of the field, many things to be disappointed about for Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilisch and Christopher Bell. Seth, they all had great chances to win. We're going to hear from Zilisch now.
That doesn't tell the whole story, though. The car's been rolled off. It was beaten and battered. You were part of that massive incident. At one point, as low as 28th, and then you picked him off. Granted, you did have a restart. Where do you walk away with today? What's the sentiment?
Yeah, I'm proud of my team and their effort. Obviously, finish isn't what we wanted. We probably had a better car than 5th place, but we clawed back after the incident on that last restart, and just proud to be able to come here and get a decent finish. Our WeatherTech Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity Mobile. I got some damage and didn't help it. But congrats to Daniel. It's awesome to see him win here in his hometown, and it's super big for him. So really proud of him and Junior Motorsports, and we'll go get him next week.
Was there a path to winning after the incident? Was it a matter of needing more laps, another restart? If you look ahead at
what a stupid question.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what I really could have done to get up to the front quicker. I probably could have been a little cleaner after that restart and gotten by guys a little quicker. But I don't think I had what the 9 and the 54 had there at the end. But really proud to come back to finish top 5 after a day like that.
Solid day for Connor Zilic.
Taylor Gray comes up 1 spot short in the 2nd position. That was maybe as close as you've been to your first career win. How did you balance your own desires to get that win versus racing Daniel clean?
Yeah, besides Martinsville. Just sucked, right? It comes so close, and I feel like half the car capable of winning, and I don't know, just I'm mad, frustrated, sad, all of it at one time. But it's a good points day overall for us. I can't thank everyone from Joe Gibbs Racing F. Brought a really fast Operation 3 JR Super, as fast as Xfinity Mobile. Just going to take this momentum and continue to roll on.
As a rookie, when you have these days, even though the result ultimately isn't what you want, how difficult is it still to find the positives? You did have a good points day, but I know that doesn't hurt, or doesn't kind of solve the hurt.
Yeah, I think just, again, I think the only thing that's making this feel better is just that we had good points day, to be honest with you. It was fun racing with Daniel. It hard racing. I didn't mean to run him off in the grass right there. Let him kind of gather it back up and able to race. And I was able to get to him through here, getting into 15. And I felt like if I would be able to get a little bit deeper into the corner and get him a little loose, I thought I would have been okay and been able to pull up beside him. But just didn't quite get there. And it's fun racing.
Yeah, valiant effort. He does come home in the 2nd spot, and for somebody on the playoff bubble, this was a much-needed good points day.
Yeah, Gray is now tied for the final provisional playoff spot right now with Ryan Sieg, thanks to that 2nd-place finish. Feels like a win is coming for Taylor Gray in that 54 car. That's a good driver and a really good team. It does feel like a win is coming sooner rather than later for him. As we get ready to sign off here, Seth, we're not going to take driver of the day voting because I think we all know who that is. But Seth, your thoughts on this Xfinity Series race in Mexico City? First time here for this series in 17 years, producing just what feels like an all-time awesome moment.
I thought he was going to give Chris Wright driver of the day. But anyway, what a win. What a moment for Daniel Suarez. You can't help, again, but feel good for him. Some people these days don't like the chaos, but the chaotic nature of the race made it entertaining. And, Taylor Gray tried, but he couldn't quite get it done. And again, you're right. It's gonna get lost. But the Mexico versus New Mexico symmetry, I think, is gonna be pretty cool. As Justin Allgaier and Suarez at Embrace.
Good for Justin sticking around that long in his driver's suit, by the way.
Oh, that's right. He did have that problem earlier in the race. So.
That's awesome. What are you looking forward to for tomorrow? Going to be a totally different race from what we've seen today.
Yeah. Very much different. The cars are going to be different. And you have a lot of inexperience. When I say inexperience, I mean guys who usually haven't run there. But if the reports from the ways from the practice and qualification are any indicator, Van Gisbergen and McDowell probably your 2 favorites.
Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen is on the pole. Michael McDowell will start, I believe it's 5th. Out of absolutely nowhere at the end of the session, Ryan Preece jumped up to score a front row starting spot. He'll start 2nd alongside SVG tomorrow. We talk about how completely different of a race it should be with the Cup cars that we have, the next-gen Cup cars. 250 here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Big thanks to JT for getting us on JBM and having fun with us as he always does. My thanks to Seth Eves as well as for everyone at USRN and JBM. Matthew Owens signing off here from Mexico City. Just an awesome, awesome moment. One that will be remembered for a long, long time. Daniel Suarez of Monterrey, Mexico wins in Mexico City in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He will go for the Mexico sweep tomorrow. Boy, wouldn't that be a story. So long from Mexico City.